series between the Texas Rangers and the Toronto Blue Jays, with the Rangers winning 2-1 last night. Jeff Bannister in his second year as manager of the Rangers, the American League West Division champs from a year ago. And a look at the lineup for Texas. The Blue Jays saw all they wanted to see of Nomar Mazara last night. He hit a home run to break the tie and then threw out the potential tying run at the bottom of the 8th at home plate. What a young star Mazara looks like he is developing into. And Mitch Moreland has been swinging a hot bat. He's driven in 7 runs in the Rangers' last 5 games.
Marco Estrada will go to the mound, making his 5th start of the season. And Marco started on the disabled list, did not make his first start till the 10th of April. He's got a .292 earned run average, and he has really picked up where he left off last year. He really came into his own last year. He developed a cutter. He used the curveball more effectively. And I think the thing that really helps him out the most is the fact that all of his pitches have the same spin coming out of his hand. Very difficult for the hitters to identify the difference between those pitches.
Defensively for the Blue Jays, starting in the outfield, left to right again, Michael Saunders, Kevin Pillar, and Jose Bautista. On the infield, it'll be Josh Donaldson at third, Troy Tulowitzki at short. Darwin Barney will get a start for the Blue Jays tonight because the Rangers have a left-hander on the mound. Justin Smoke is at first, and Russell Martin is back in the starting lineup tonight, catching Estrada.
Darwin Barney makes his 6th start of the season at second base. He was a 2012 Gold Glove winner for the Cubs in the National League, and I think you might see Barney playing a little bit more, and given the fact that Derek Holland's going to pitch later on in this series, he'll probably get that start against the lefty Holland as well.
Rougned Odor, the second baseman and leadoff hitter for the Rangers, stands in, and we're underway here at Rogers Center. First pitch comes in low from Estrada. Odor went 0 for 4 last night, hitting .271 on the season. He'll be followed by Nomar Mazara and then Adrian Beltre. And a high fly ball to right field. Bautista heading back towards the corner, and it is gone. A leadoff home run for Rougned Odor, and the Rangers strike early.
Marco Estrada had done a good job of keeping the ball in the ballpark. He had allowed just 1 home run in his first 4 starts, and this is a high fastball. It was probably meant to be a little bit more inside, and watch the swing from Odor. There you see that 4-seam fastball up out over the plate, and he hit it toward the end of the bat actually, and it carried a lot better than it sounded like coming off the bat.
He's not the biggest guy in the world, but he's got some power. We talked about it last night. As a rookie, he hit 16 home runs in 426 at bats last year. 1-0 Texas very early, and Estrada now facing Mazara, who had such a good game last night. And there's a good changeup, although it was up in the zone, but a swing and a miss by Mazara, who was named the American League Rookie of the Month. The youngest player in baseball right now is hitting .333.
Good-looking player, and you mentioned the Rookie of the Month award for the American League. He hit .333 with 2 homers and 7 RBIs in the month of April. Last year, the American League Rookie of the Month was Devin Travis, who got off to a terrific start with the Blue Jays.
Another swing and a miss at a changeup. Again, it was up, but again, Mazara swings through it.
Yeah, Marco can really throw that changeup back to back as often as he wants. It's that good. His arm action really sells it. There's another one cued off the end of the bat.
Estrada about as reliant on his changeup as any pitcher in a baseball. Last year he used his changeup 28% of the time, the 3rd highest percentage of any pitcher in the game. Jake Odorizzi, John Danks ahead of him. 2-2. There's a fastball, and it's popped up foul and back out of play. Estrada had by far his best year in the big leagues last year. Went 13-8 with a .313 ERA and won not 1 but 2 elimination games for the Blue Jays in the playoffs. Game 3 of the division series against Texas. Game 5 of the LCS against Kansas City. We were talking before the game. The ovation he got when he came off the mound in the 8th inning of Game 5 against the Royals, about as loud as either one of us has ever heard in this building. 3-2, hit sharply to second. Barney comes up with it and on to first.
Darwin Barney, we mentioned his Gold Glove in 2012. He plays this very well. He gets an angle on this sharply hit ball. Watch how he turns his body, and then he has the leverage to use that glove and take it out into the outfield before he turns and throws to first. Terrific player, very valuable part of this ball club. He can play all three of the infield positions, second, short, and third.
Here's Adrian Beltre. Curveball from Estrada drops in for a strike. Beltre, 37 years of age, off to a very solid start, and probably, another conversation we were having before the game, probably on his way to the Hall of Fame. And I don't know that if you started asking people, okay, give me some guys in baseball who are going to head to the Hall of Fame, I don't know how many would mention him, but you look at his numbers. He is 5 hits away from 2,800. He's hit 416 home runs. He's driven in almost 1,500 runs. 4 Gold Gloves, 4 Silver Sluggers, 4 All-Star appearances. That stacks up pretty well with some of the best third basemen who have played the game.
Yeah, it sure does. And then you start to look at what he's done in the postseason, and those numbers really enhance his overall career numbers. In the World Series, 7 games he hit 300 with 2 home runs. That was in 2011 against the Cardinals. But he is a terrific defender, and he's healthy. We mentioned his torn thumb ligament last year. And then in game 1 of the division series, he messed up his back running from first to second, and he was never the same for the rest of that series.
And he's a guy who will play through pain just about as well as anybody. He gets up and gets a piece of that high fastball from Estrada, but Pilar's got a room in deep right center to haul it in 2 down. When you look at third basemen who have played the most games at the position in Major League history, #1 on the list, one of the legendary third basemen to have ever played the game, Hall of Famer Brooks Robinson. Adrian Beltre has moved into the 2 spot, better than 2,500 games at the hot corner. #3 on the list is Greg Nettles at just over 2,400. Here's a hot shot down to first off the bat of Prince Fielder. Smoke will make the play, and the inning is over. But the home run by Rougned Odor to lead off the game against Marco Estrada has given the Rangers an early 1-0 lead. Leading the Blue Jays 1-0. John Gibbons trying to stay positive in spite of the fact that the team is struggling right now. They've dropped 3 games under 500 to 12 and 15. A look at the starting lineup for the Blue Jays tonight. Josh Donaldson, including what he did against Perez in the postseason last year, 7 for 16 against the left-hander, with 5 of those 7 hits going for extra bases. And we talked about it off the top of the show. Nobody is hotter right now than Kevin Pillar. Coincidentally or not, for the moment he was moved out of the leadoff spot down in the order. He has really swung the bat very, very well. Hit 3 hits in last night's game.
Martin Perez has never pitched a regular season game against the Blue Jays. As Dan mentioned, he pitched in game 3 of that division series against Marco Estrada. He's 1-2 on the season. He's pitched 30 innings. The left-handers aren't doing much against him. The right-handers, and of course the Blue Jays lineup is loaded with big right-handed bats. They got to do some damage against Martin Perez tonight. The righties really got to get to Perez.
Michael Saunders will lead it off for the Blue Jays, hitting .304 on the season as a leadoff hitter. Since he was moved up to the leadoff spot, he's got an on-base percentage of .388. John Gibbons was asked about and spoke about the base running play involving Saunders last night, where he didn't tag up and go from second to third. And in Gibbons' words, he said, with nobody out, that's an automatic. And it's, I think, at least the third time this year that a Blue Jay with nobody out, medium depth, fly ball to right field or a little bit deeper than that, has not tagged up. And when you lose so many one-run games, and the Blue Jays have lost 7 of them already this year, the little things are becoming the big things right now for this team.
Yeah, they sure are. You just can't make those types of mistakes. You have to be aware of the situation, where you are in the ball game, where you are in the innings, and Michael just didn't get a chance to tag up. That check swing foul right before it got into the catcher's glove.
So Perez out in front 0-2 and misses inside with a fastball. Perez underwent Tommy John surgery in 2014, May of 14, returned after the All-Star break last season. The velocity not quite all the way back, down a couple of ticks.
I think psychologically it takes a pitcher a while to really trust that that elbow is going to stay intact. Yu Darvish, in his first rehab start on Sunday, said that was his biggest concern, that he was going to blow out his elbow in his first rehab assignment.
Hoping to get Darvish back by the end of May to bolster what's already been a pretty good rotation. Saunders fouls it back and the count remains 2-2.
Now you can imagine when a pitcher has suffered an injury to his elbow, you're just not going to really cut it loose right away. You're just going to have to test it and see whether or not you can get that great extension, but it's a building process for Perez.
Saunders to be followed by Donaldson and Bautista here in the bottom of the first. The Blue Jays down 1-0. 2-2 again, and a sharply hit ball off the glove of Elvis Andrus into left field, and Saunders is aboard.
Andrus has played so well defensively, as have the Rangers. He's committed just 1 error this season, and watch how he gets his body angled a bit. Same way Darwin Barney tried to play that ball off the side. When Barney could execute that time, that skipped past Elvis Andrus.
Still waiting for the scoring on the play, whether that's a hit or an error. It was a very sharply hit ball, and it will go as a base hit for Michael Saunders.
Yeah, I think that's a hit all the way. Too hot to handle.
Yep. So the leadoff man is aboard, and here's Josh Donaldson, the American League leader in home runs with 9. We showed you Donaldson's numbers moments ago against Martin Perez. Has had a lot of success against him in his career. Donaldson's got 18 extra base hits on the season in 27 games. 8 doubles, 1 triple, 9 homers as he takes the changeup outside, ball 2.
Done a good job against the Rangers as well. In his last 37 games, he has 8 home runs.
Short lead at first by Saunders, does not have a steal on the season. The count in Donaldson's favor. Infielders playing him to pull, and he'll take ball 3.
You can imagine, even though Bautista's behind Donaldson, that Josh will have the green light here. John Gibbons wants the bats to come around, and that's the best way to start him. Give him a 3-0 green light.
It is a green light. It's a base hit into left field. And the Blue Jays in business here in the first inning with back-to-back singles.
Blue Jays, maybe more than any club in baseball, in need of a laugher. They need it for their hitters. They need it for their bullpen. And here on a 3-0 pitch, he gets a fastball center cut and pulls it through the left side of the infield.
So 2 men on, nobody out, down 1-0 in the bottom of the first, and here's Jose Bautista. Bautista last night 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts. His average is now down to .231 on the season. You can see the on-base percentage still very good, drawing a lot of walks, hitting some homers, driving in some runs, but has not been making the kind of contact recently that he was at the outset of the season. Saunders at second and Donaldson at first. And the curveball from Perez crossed up his catcher, and that's going to cause a meeting. That's not what Nicholas was expecting. By the way, he caught it.
Yeah, you can kind of watch the pitcher, how he looked like he had a little bit of indecision when he was looking in for that sign, and then watch the catcher's reaction. He thought he was going to get a fastball, and no hesitation. I got to talk to this guy.
So they changed the signs with a runner out at second, and obviously there was a little miscommunication there. This is the first time this year that Nicholas has caught Perez. Look back at Saunders at second in the 1-0, and Bautista hits one to short. To second, one on to first. Taylor made 6-4-3 double play. Saunders to third with 2 down.
Well, that has been a big defensive weapon for the Rangers. That double play, that's their 40th double play they've turned, and Elvis Andrus did a good job starting it. Odor turned it at second. Take a look at the rest of the defense. In the outfield, it's Desmond, DeShields, and Mazzara. And then on the infield, it is Beltre, Elvis Andrus, and Odor up the middle. That double play combination. Mitch Moreland at first. Prince Fielder started there last night, and Brett Nicholas is behind the plate. Elvis Andrus, we mentioned, he's committed just 1 error this season, and this is his 8th season. He came up in 2009, played every day as a 20-year-old. He is a seasoned young veteran.
Edwin Encarnacion, the batter. Runner at third, 2 down, and a strike over the inside edge from Perez. Encarnacion had some kind of a batting practice before the game. He was sending balls into the seats time after time, pitch after pitch, see if there's any kind of carryover into the actual game. He's hitting .235, 3 homers, and 16 driven in. It looked promising at the beginning, first and second, nobody out, but now it's runner at third, 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. Check the swing. They asked for the appeal. He did not go, and it's ball 2.
We mentioned the double plays for the Rangers. Martin Perez, that's the 12th double play they've turned behind him. He does a good job of converting those double play situations into 2 outs.
That'll bring a smile to the face of his pitching coach, Doug Brocail. Though he's had a lot of base runners on, so he's had more opportunities. He's walked too many guys this year. Goes to the curveball, and he falls behind 3-1. Perez has issued 15 walks in 30 innings coming into this game tonight.
Yeah, that'll catch up to him. Obviously, he's got to cut down that number. But I bet you he's not going to give Encarnacion anything good to hit on this 3-1 count.
Troy Tulowitzki on deck should the inning continue. And it missed outside, ball 4. Well, as mentioned, the walks have been a problem for Perez, and a significant increase, Buck, from his walk ratio of a year ago.
Well, and you mentioned coming back from Tommy John surgery, he's still feeling for the release point, still feeling for that strike zone, and those walks, they're going to catch up to him. You got to cut down the number of walks. Sooner or later, Blue Jay's going to run into one, and then all of a sudden it's going to be a crooked number up on the scoreboard.
So 2 on, 2 out, and the batter is Troy Tulowitzki. Tulowitzki, a frustrating night last night. Struck out in his first 3 at-bats, and then it was his fly ball that turned into the double play when Mazzara threw out Saunders at the plate in the 8th inning. Tulowitzki down to 165 right now. And there were visible signs of frustration, both his face yelling at himself a little bit or just yelling out loud after a couple of the at-bats. He's a frustrated guy right now.
Yeah, you know what? When you've had the track record of Troy Tulowitzki and you're getting pitches to hit like he did on that first pitch of this at-bat, then you get frustrated. Those are balls that normally end up in the seats.
He does have 5 home runs on the season.
It's a better pitch from Perez, down and away. In that game 3 start in the division series, Perez against Estrada, Troy Tulowitzki hit a crucial 3-run home run, but that was off of Chichi Gonzalez, the relief pitcher that took over for Perez.
0-2 the count on Tulowitzki. Saunders at third, and Encarnacion at first. And the pitch. Went after the high fastball, and he fouled it back. He has been a patient hitter so far this year. He can't afford to be with an 0-2 count here, but he's averaging 4.5 pitches per plate appearance. That is third in the American League. There have been a number of called third strikes on him. Obviously doesn't have that luxury here as Perez got ahead of him early. Again, the 0-2, and a changeup is in the dirt, ball 1.
You know, I know the Blue Jays have taken a lot of walks and they're making pitchers work, but this isn't a walking ball club. This is a hitting ball club. And I think they have allowed the pitchers to pitch ahead all too frequently. And Brooke Jacoby, the hitting coach, is trying to encourage the hitters to be aggressive after that fastball, even if it's a first pitch fastball.
The set by Perez, and the 1-2, and a high fly ball to center field. It is deep but playable for DeShields, and the inning is over. So it started off with back-to-back base hits, but the Blue Jays can't take advantage, and they're down 1-0 at the end of an inning.
John Gibbons announcing today that he has decided to platoon Darwin Barney and Ryan Goins there at second base. Goins, as you know, having a tough go at it at the plate recently. Gibbons told me he doesn't feel like he's sacrificing anything on defense because, as Dan and Buck told you, Barney is a Gold Glove second baseman. Barney telling me his role, he understands it. He needs to be a pest at the bottom of that order, being a tough out, not necessarily seeing a lot of pitches, more like having a plan, sticking to it, and Dan just being someone else pitchers have to worry about.
All right, Hazel, thank you. And when things aren't going well, you got to do what you can to mix it up. Try something here, try something there. And Ryan Goins had a very productive year with the bat last year. I think exceeded the expectations, maybe not his own expectations, but the expectations of some others. But Barney, in limited opportunities this year, as you know, Bucky, swung the bat pretty well.
Yeah, he's gotten some big hits, including that pinch double on Sunday down in Tampa Bay. So they're going to go with this situation, at least for the short time.
Now the lefty Derek Holland starting Thursday in the last game of this series. And Clayton Kershaw will start against the Blue Jays over the weekend. Maybe Darwin Barney says, you know what, Gibby, thanks for the playing time, but maybe could we put this into effect next week? I mean, Clayton Kershaw is right at the top of his game. Ian Desmond is the leadoff hitter here in the second for the Rangers. The former Washington National had some very good years for Washington. Last year, though, not his best year. He struggled defensively at short and didn't hit as well as he normally does. But the 3 years prior to that, he averaged 23 home runs and 81 RBIs.
It's great production from a shortstop, obviously, but last year he had 233 and just 19 home runs. So he had free agency he was thinking about, probably got in his head a little bit, trying to put up big numbers.
1-2 is down and away. After Desmond, it'll be Mitch Moreland and then Elvis Andrus against Marco Estrada, making his 5th start of the season. Signed a very lucrative 2-year deal in the offseason, $26 million, 13 per year after that great year he had a year ago. Change up in the dirt and a full count. Overall, the Blue Jays starting pitching has been very good, and the strength of the team. The offense has not done as well as was expected, and there have been issues in the bullpen as well, but the starting pitching has carried its weight. Fly ball to center, going to back Pilar. A lot of carry on this one, and he'll finally haul it down on the edge of the track.
This Blue Jays Rogers 4K broadcast is powered by the Samsung 4K SUHD TV.
One to nothing. The Rangers lead the Blue Jays. Top of the second. Here in Toronto, Dane Shulman and Buck Martinez. A leadoff home run by Rougned Odor off Marco Estrada, the only run of the game so far. Here's Mitch Moreland. The Texas team has actually not been quite as productive offensively as you maybe would associate with a Texas Ranger team. But offense is not quite what it was a few years back. So if you've got a team scoring 4 to 4.5 runs per game, that's actually pretty good. And Texas is right about there. They're just under 4.5 runs per game. And that actually puts them third in the American League. The Red Sox are way out in front. The Tigers are second. The Rangers are third. The Blue Jays, as poorly as things have gone at times for them offensively, they're sixth in the league in runs scored. You'd get the perception they're 10th or 12th. They're sixth. They've just had a knack of losing games by 1 run time and time again so far.
Yeah, and if you look at the record of the bullpen, they're 0-9, and the run support hasn't been as consistent nor as gaudy as it was last year, and I think that'll come around and that should change.
The Rangers, unlike the Blue Jays, finding ways to score runs without the benefit of the home run. They've only got 22 home runs this year. Compare that to the Blue Jays, who have 31. But in 1 less game, the Rangers have scored 8 more runs than the Blue Jays have. They've done a big difference is they've done a great job with runners in scoring position, and the Blue Jays have done anything but a great job with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, Texas coming into this series had hit .304 with runners in scoring position.
The 2-2. Way outside, and Estrada frustrated this inning, not commanding the changeup as well as he normally does.
Yeah, he's coming off back-to-back 4-walk starts, and that's unusual for Marco, but his control has been a little inconsistent lately.
So a full count pitch on the way, and he walked him. Got ahead of Moreland, but couldn't finish him off, and a base runner for the Rangers with 1 out here in the second. That'll bring up Elvis Andrus, who, as Buck mentioned, has been around a long time, but still just 27 years of age. Broke in as a 20-year-old, as Buck mentioned, back in 2009. A .270 lifetime major league hitter, better than 1,100 hits in his career. You know, you get an early start like an Andrus or a Starlin Castro, you can put up some pretty good numbers by staying in that lineup and being healthy enough to play a lot. And Andrus has never played in fewer than 145 games in his career, and in the last 4 years has played in at least 156 games in each of those years.
Again, Estrada misses with that pitch, and we mentioned in his last start, that was against the White Sox here at Rogers Center, he had 4 walks, struck out 5 through 118 pitches, but he was always having trouble with his shoulder, just like he couldn't get loose, like it just felt tight. You could see him on the mound reacting to that, and so far tonight he hasn't had that real good location that we've grown used to.
33 pitches, 18 strikes, 15 balls. Not a typical Estrada ratio. Pete Walker looking on from the Blue Jay dugout. Estrada coming in with a .292 ERA. Now this ball is well hit to left field. Saunders is back though, and he'll track it down just shy of the track for the second out of the inning. So with 2 down, Estrada, once he gets his thoughts together and turns back around towards the plate, will face the catcher Brett Nicholas, the rookie who hit a home run last night to straightaway center field off R.A. Dickey, his second home run of the season. Making the most of his opportunity because of the injuries to a couple of other Texas catchers, Chris Jimenez and Robinson Chirinos.
Estrada's real effectiveness is the fact that he throws strikes with all of his pitches, and tonight you can see he's battling his ability to get that ball over the strike zone. That would miss quite a bit away.
And that one's a little bit high. Russell Martin held it. But Sam Holbrook, the home plate umpire, didn't buy it, and it's 2-0 now on Nicholas. Mitch Moreland, the runner at first. He walked with a 1 out, 2 down now. And the 2-0 on the way. Swing and a miss. Even at 2-0, he'll come at you with a changeup.
Well, Nicholas, of course, getting his first look at Marco Estrada, and he's not used to seeing a 2-0 changeup, and such a good one from a pitcher. Don't do that in the minor leagues.
That pitch was exactly where Russell Martin wanted it. The index finger, the one for the fastball, to the outside thigh, and Estrada put it right where Martin asked for it.
See, Russell's thinking about where he wants to go with this pitch. Looks like they're going to call the curveball.
And a fly ball to left center field. A long run for Pilar, and it's going to split the outfielders and skip over the fence, which is a break for the Blue Jays. Otherwise, Moreland would have come in to score. But another well-hit ball by Brett Nicholas.
That's his 4th double, and it came on a 2-strike curveball. It was up out over the plate. He hit his home run to straightaway center last night, and this is a breaking ball up out over the plate, and he takes it the other way. And you're right, Dan. The Blue Jays got a big break when that ball bounced out of play because Moreland was halfway home.
So second and third, 2 down. The Rangers already leading 1-0, and here's the number 9 hitter, center fielder Delino DeShields. DeShields had a couple of hits in last night's game. Also had a base running blunder, trying to take second on the play where Pilar threw him out at second, nullifying a run at the plate. And now Estrada misses badly with a first pitch curveball.
Estrada can come right back with that curveball because that feeling of hanging it is fresh in his mind. And you can throw it back to back, and the second one generally is going to be a good one. Missed with the fastball.
Second and third, 2 down, and the count in DeShields' favor. Estrada struggling with his command. 2-0 fastball right down the middle for a strike. 2-1. That's probably the best pitch DeShields is going to see in this at bat.
Yeah, and he's been scuffling at the plate up until last night when he had a couple of hits.
2-1. Weekly hit back towards the mound. Up with it, Estrada, and the Rangers will leave 2 men on in scoring position. So Estrada's not his sharpest, but he's battling 1-0 going to the bottom of the second.
Auction presented by TD will take place during Sportsnet's national broadcast of the Blue Jays and the Tampa Bay Rays on May 18th. 12 unique Blue Jays experiences and packages up for bids. Visit bluejays.com/broadcast auction to see a list of all prizes available. All funds will help Jays Care go beyond the ballpark for over 62,000 children and youth across Canada in 2016. Dan.
Hazel, thank you. Bottom of the second inning here at Rogers Center. 1-0 Texas leads on a first inning home run by Rougned Odor. Justin Smoak will lead it off for the Blue Jays against Martin Perez. And take a fastball there for a strike. Smoak, Pilar, and Martin 6, 7, and 8 here in the second inning. Smoak hitting .225, still looking for that first home run of the year. The switch hitter batting from the right side tonight. And he hits it sharply and into center field, a base hit. Second inning in a row, the Blue Jays have had the leadoff man on. And that'll bring up as hot a hitter as the Blue Jays have right now in Kevin Pilar. When he was taken out of leadoff spot, Buck, for whatever reason, things clicked in, coincidence or not, but he's been on a tear since.
Yeah, he sure has. You see his batting average batting first, 188 compared to 385 in other spots in the order. On base percentage is better, slugging percentage. His stroke just started to come around, and he got off to a slow start like the majority of his teammates, and he happened to be hitting leadoff at that time. I think if he continues to swing the bat the way he has lately, we might see a shakeup and put Michael Saunders' bat down in the order a little bit just to balance out all those right-handed hitters.
The average up to 290 after a 3-hit night last night. A couple of singles and a double. Ground ball to short. And for the second inning in a row, the Blue Jays hit into a double play.
Martin Perez used that double play in that playoff game last year. He had double plays in 3 innings before the 6th, and he was lifted in the 6th inning. But he has got the ability to convert those double plays. The Rangers have now turned 7 more double plays than the Oakland Athletics, with 2 here tonight. Pitchers pitching with a lot of confidence, and they trust those infielders to put the ball in play, and they've really been converting the double plays.
So that's now 13 with Perez on the mound, right? 13 double plays that his teammates have turned behind him, and this is his 6th start of the season, just 2 innings into his 6th start. So 2 outs and the base is empty for Russell Martin, who lifts a high fly ball to center field. DeShields is back and has room, and that's a 5-pitch inning for Martin Perez. Another double play ball, and it's still 1-0 Texas.
Enjoying those big comfy green chairs in the TD Comfort Zone are special guests of TD who've received an in-stadium seat upgrade. While over in the Jays Care Community Clubhouse, we welcome the Jays Care Young Professionals. Welcome, everybody. Hope you enjoy tonight's ball game.
Looks like they're enjoying the pizza right now in that Jays Care Community Clubhouse. Blue Jays are down 1-0. At the end of 2, the Jays have hit into a double play in each of the first 2 innings. Going back to last night, The Blue Jays have now had the leadoff man on in 5 straight innings. 7, 8, 9 last night, 1, 2 here tonight, and did not score a run in any of those innings. Here's Odor, who led off the ball game with a home run. Lifts a fly ball to left field. Should be routine for Saunders. 1 down.
Marco is always going to give up fly balls, and you'll remember his last year in Milwaukee, he led the National League in home runs allowed, but he has made a dramatic adjustment, and the ability to cut the fastball into left-handed hitters and set up that changeup has really served him well. That Odor home run, just the second he's allowed this season.
Here's Mazzara. Talked about it last night. Shin-Soo Choo is on the DL for the Rangers with a calf injury. Might get out on rehab as soon as a week from now. Could be back within a couple of weeks, and then the Rangers will have a decision to make. And Mazzara is saying, I know I wasn't here right at the beginning of the year, but I'm planning on sticking around for a while, and they may have to get creative or make some other move once Choo comes back.
Yeah, managers are really funny that way.
Yeah.
If you're hitting over 300, they'll keep you around.
Yeah. Do you know Bruce Bochy? There's Choo, who's hoping to be back within a couple of weeks. Bruce Bochy, if a guy hits a home run, he'll put him in the lineup the next night. Whether the matchup is there, lefty, righty, doesn't matter. If a guy hits a home run, you're in the lineup the next night. Just plays a hunch, and it works. And for many, many reasons, universally respected as one of the very best managers in the game. The guy's going to go to the Hall of Fame. He's won 3 World Series championships. But sometimes you just have a superstition, or you trust your gut, or whatever it may be. Ground ball to the right side. Smoke ranging to his right, to Estrada covering. 2 down.
It's time to convert your big outdoor tasks into short, effortless work. Make the great outdoors even greater with Honda Power Equipment.
Top of the 3rd inning, and the Rangers with a 1-0 lead. Marco Estrada getting Odor, and Mazzara will now face Adrian Beltre. Beltre sure doesn't look like a guy who's 37 years old. Signed for 2 more years by Texas. They announced that a few weeks ago. We talked about guys who get an early start in their career like Andrews. Beltre was even earlier. He was in the big leagues as a 19-year-old with the Dodgers back in 1998. Got 195 at-bats that year. Fly ball, right center field, well hit. Bautista back, has room. 3 up and 3 down go the Rangers. 8-pitch inning for Estrada. Blue Jays coming up in the bottom of the 3rd.
Streaming sports service delivers everything you've come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in true HD on over 400 supported devices. It includes a free subscription to @Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
To the bottom of the third here at Rogers Center, the Rangers with a 1-0 lead. Number 9 hitter Darwin Barney getting a start at second base tonight against the lefty Martin Perez. He'll lead it off for the Blue Jays. Barney is 9 for 29, a .310 average. Same kind of story last September when the Blue Jays picked him up. Didn't get a chance to play a ton, but it went 7 for 23. Known for his glove, but he's chipped in when he's had a chance with the bat.
Yeah, he's a very smart player that sits around and watches the flow of the game when he's not starting. Understands when his situation might come up where he'll be in the game defensively or possibly as a pinch hitter as he did on Sunday. But he said it's changed over the years since he's become more experienced. He said he used to hit in the batting cage during the game. Now he just sits out and watches the flow of the game on the bench.
Came up with the Cubs in 2010. Wound up with the Dodgers in 2014, and again just briefly last year. Spent almost all of last year in the minors at AAA Oklahoma City, the Dodgers AAA affiliate. Swing and a miss, and Perez has his first strikeout of the night as we check in with Jamie. Dodgers sitting right at the 500 mark right now, 13-13. They suffered an extreme number of injuries in spring training. They opened up the season with 10 players on the disabled list, and they're still trying to put the pieces back together. But nobody's running away in the NL West. The Giants come into action tonight, leading the Dodgers by a half game atop the division. Blue Jays will see right-hander Kenta Maeda on Friday night. Maeda's been terrific for the Dodgers. They signed him from Japan, and in his first 4 starts gave up just 1 earned run. 28 years of age. He's won the equivalent of the Cy Young Award in Japan a couple of times. He's made 5 starts now, and he's 3-1 with a 1.41 ERA. The Marlins finally got to him his last time out for 4 runs. Prior to that, he had given up just 1 run in 4 starts. 3-0 the count on Michael Saunders. And a belt high strike, 3-1. Saunders aboard on a base hit to begin the first. The Blue Jays have hit into 2 double plays. Bautista in the first, Pilar in the second.
Boy, that was a good shot of the bench, really focusing in on Perez, seeing if they can't solve this lefty. This is the first time they have seen him during a regular season game, and we mentioned the start in the postseason last year against the Jays.
Outside corner, 3-2.
So all the bench locked in on Perez, trying to get a read for his pitches.
Perez trying to battle back from a 3-0 count. Full count pitch, and he strikes out Saunders. Back-to-back strikeouts for Perez.
He's got a lot of late movement on that fastball, and he ran that one up above the belt inside to Michael Saunders and really kind of tied him up.
So 2 down, nobody on, and here's Josh Donaldson. Had a base hit through the left side his first time up. Donaldson hitting just under 300 at 298. 9 home runs and 21 RBIs. The shift is on. Odor, you can see him on the shortstop side of the bag behind Perez. Perez falls behind 2-0.
You know, I was talking to Josh today about how he got off to kind of a late start, and his career really didn't take off till he was about 27 years old. He said, I didn't know my swing. He said, I didn't see a lot of video early in my career. Minor leagues, they don't have video. I didn't see much in college, maybe one at bat a game. But once I saw video in the big leagues, I realized my swing wasn't what I thought it was. And he made some dramatic adjustments, and all of a sudden he's become an MVP caliber player.
As a Blue Jay on a 3-0 count. Donaldson 5 for 8, but he'll take ball 4 here. And the Blue Jays have a base runner with 2 down. When Donaldson was 25 years of age, he was still in the minors. In fact, in his age 26 season, he started that year at AAA Sacramento before getting called up for good by Oakland. But better late than never, and he's turned it into an MVP and an incredibly productive career the last few years.
Well, he was a catcher too in the minor leagues, and then actually came to the big leagues as a catcher. He had his first home run right here at Rogers Center against Dana Even while he was playing for Oakland, and he caught in that game. So then they had an injury to a third baseman. He said, "I'll play third." And sure enough, he has developed into one of the better third basemen in all of baseball.
He's at first with 2 down, and the batter is Bautista. Curveball from Perez, misses low. A run on 2 hits for the Rangers. The run on the Rougned Odor home run to begin the ball game. The Blue Jays have had traffic in every inning. 3 hits and 2 walks surrendered by Perez, but no runs. Strike over the inside corner, 1-1. Bautista grounding into a double play in the first inning. Changeup down and away, ball 2. Perez a little frustrated with himself, muttering a little bit as he gets back up on top of the mound. He's having trouble throwing strikes. 45 pitches, 23 of them strikes, 22 balls. Doug Brocail's still an imposing guy, even though
he's a big guy.
Yeah, he hasn't played for a while, but if he came out to the mound and had something to say to me, I'd be listening about as well as I could.
Yeah, he's in his first season with the Rangers as their pitching coach.
Curveball inside, ball 3.
Yeah, and the concern for Perez is he knows you can't make a mistake to Bautista, and he has missed with a couple of pitches in this at bat, and if you miss out over the plate, all of a sudden that 1-0 lead will evaporate.
Ground ball chopped toward third. Beltre on to first in time to get Bautista, and that's the inning. Another runner left on by the Blue Jays. They're down 1-0 at the end of 3. Here comes the ultimate cleanup crew, brought to you by Home Hardware's exclusive line of the ultimate hard-hitting and tough-on-grime cleaning products.
Closer to the action with 4 times the resolution of HD alone.
Top 4 at Rogers Center with Buck Martinez. I'm Dan Schulman. 1-0. The Rangers leading the Blue Jays. Martin Perez and DeMarco Estrada, the pitching matchup tonight. Rougned Odor with a leadoff home run in the first inning off Estrada. 5 of the 9 outs that Estrada has recorded have been in the air, have been fly balls, and that's not really all that unusual for Marco Estrada. He will live up in the zone even though he's not overpowering, so they'll get the ball in the air a lot. Prince Fielder's going to lead off the 4th inning. He grounded out sharply, hit the ball hard down to first baseman Justin Smoak to win the first. At the knees with a fastball for strike one. Fielder just 2 home runs this year and hitting only .206. Although he came into this series swinging the bat a little bit better than he did earlier in the season. Swings through the changeup, and it's 0-2.
He had a bounce back year last year after undergoing that surgery and really started to swing the bat much better. He's always been better when he hits the ball to the left center alley. That keeps him on the pitches a little more effectively. There's a good curveball.
So fastball, changeup, curveball, 3 pitches, and he strikes out Fielder.
Yeah, that's the best sequence of pitches we have seen so far tonight from Marco Estrada. Gavin Floyd struck out Fielder last night with a hook, and he comes right back here with this 0-2 pitch and another good breaking ball. That 12-6 curveball with that 4-seam spin. You can see Fielder chased it and never really got to home plate.
So now 5 in a row retired by Estrada. Ian Desmond will show bunt, take down and away, ball 1. Desmond with a fly ball to center field his first time up. The Rangers come into the game tonight, the leaders in the American League West. For the 6th day in a row, they have a half-game lead in the division. Line to third, man, oh man, right at Donaldson.
Home Hardware and Building Center locations, proud partners of the Toronto Blue Jays. Homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice.
Let's get another look at this one. It almost looked harder because he didn't have an opportunity, Buck, to reach one way or the other. I mean, you talk a ball getting hit right at you.
This is why they call it the hot corner. It comes down there awfully quickly, and it had a little hook on it as well.
Mitch Moreland a swing and a miss. Second night in a row that Donaldson's made a play like that on a ball hit that hard. Moreland walked his first time up. Of course, when you're a big league third baseman these days, you spend a lot of time playing shortstop because the shift is on. Now the game has changed in recent years. So he's got a little more time when he's over near short. He doesn't have much time at all right there. Coming right at him. Fast. Got to check your glove after that. Make sure he had a ball go through the webbing of his glove a few days ago. There's the ball hooked foul.
He and Tulowitzki both have had their webbings break this season, and I know they have them checked all the time, but he was able to handle on that one. And Tulowitzki is sporting a new glove. He had to retire the old glove. The webbing actually broke on his gamer, so now he is using that glove on an everyday basis.
And a bouncing ball for Barney. Inning over. Another 3 up, 3 down inning. 7 in a row now set down by Estrada. The Blue Jays coming up. Middle of the order. They trail 1-0.
since it's the SCP Fantasy Playoffs Pool. Register now at sportsnet.ca/fantasy for the Sportsnet Fantasy Playoffs Pool presented by Samsung. Make your picks for a chance to win prizes.
Hazel, thank you. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning at Rogers Center. The Blue Jays down 1-0. It'll be Edwin Encarnacion, Troy Tulowitzki, and Justin Smoak to face left-hander Martin Perez. Blue Jays have had 3 hits and 2 walks in 3 innings, but have hit into 2 double plays, have left 3 men on. Encarnacion walked with 2 down in the first, was stranded there. And Perez, I don't know if you quite want to say he's been playing with Firebuck, but he's been behind a lot of hitters, but he's been able to pitch around that lack of command so far.
Yeah, he hasn't really made too many mistakes over the heart of the plate. When he misses, it's generally down, as he's done here in this at bat. Edwin really hasn't gotten much to hit lately. He's 0 for 17 now.
Let's see if he's turned loose at 3-0. Took a strike right down the middle, 3-1. Well, one thing the Blue Jays did extraordinarily well last year was hit left-handed pitching. It has not been the case so far this year. And this was one of the comments Josh Donaldson made after the White Sox series, after Quintana pitched well. He said, I get Sale as Sale, but this one should get out of play back into the seats. Donaldson's quote was something along the lines of, we got a lot of big, strong right-handed batters, and we should be able to do damage against them. They just haven't been able to hit lefties as well this year.
Yeah, and well, overall, they haven't been hitting like we have seen in the past. Yep. I think that's a little concerning for everybody. But certainly Quintana was better than you might want to admit. He was pretty good on the heels of Chris Sale the night before.
3-2, ground ball to short. And again, Perez falls behind a hitter and battles back to get an out.
He just has enough movement on that fastball to take it off the barrel of the bat. And I think that's what the problem has been for the Blue Jays. Those 2 ground ball double plays in the first and the second. And he has really benefited from the double plays, as he's now had 13 double plays when he's on the mound.
So with 1 down, the batter is Troy Tulowitzki. Hit a fly ball to deep center his first time up. That was the 3rd out back in the first inning. Seems like when the Blue Jays need that fly ball with a 1 out, they can't get it. Then they get it with 2 out. It's just not happening for them right now. And again, another hitter's count.
Another count where you get to count in your favor and you're just not able to take advantage of it. Doug Brocail quickly out to the mound, and this is something that the Rangers have seen a lot with Perez on the mound, where you got a rookie catcher, and instead of the catcher going out there trying to get him back on track, the pitching coach will go out from time to time and say, you're rushing. Slow down a little bit, make your good pitch. You make too many mistakes in the heart of the plate, this lineup will get something going against you.
So we'll see if the talk from Brocail helps Perez lock in on the strike zone a little bit more. He's 2-0 on Tulowitzki. Ball 3, second consecutive hitter. He's gone to 3-0, but he battled back to get Encarnacion. A 2-1 win for Texas last night. This is game 2 of a 4-game series. In there for a strike, 3-1.
Perez fell behind Michael Saunders 3-0, came back and struck him out. So he has been walking a tightrope early in this game.
Sharply hit, but to his left is Andrews to gobble it up and throw out Tulowitzki. 2 down.
Well, Perez is among the leaders in baseball getting those ground balls, and that really exemplifies what that sinking fastball means to Perez. He can fall behind, have a hitter count at 3-1, and still get the ground ball to the shortstop.
So with 2 down and the bases empty, here's Justin Smoak. Hit a base hit into center field to lead off the 2nd inning. 1-0 Texas leading as the Blue Jays bat here in the bottom of the 4th at Rogers Center. And in there for a strike, 0-1.
It's that high breaking ball, and there are so few hitters that will go after that curveball on the first pitch.
Well located fastball inside edge, and it's 0-2. Maybe it just took a little while for Doug Brocail's words to sink in on Martin Perez, but he seems to have it going now. 0-2 on the way, and it's in the dirt.
Look at that slider in the dirt. You can see the catcher, Nicholas, indicating throw it down. I want it to hit the plate. See if we can get Smoke to chase it. But Brocail delivering the message, hey, relax, trust your stuff, and make your pitches. Don't muscle your way through this lineup.
The 1-2 on the way. Good changeup down and away. Swung on and missed by Smoke, and the inning is over as the Blue Jays go in order. Into 4 with Texas leading 1-0. Now time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here are Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn from the Samsung broadcast studio.
Month after 2 more with the Texas Rangers, the LA Dodgers come to town. Then it's a steady diet of AL East opponents. The Tampa Bay Rays from the 16th to the 18th, followed by the Boston Red Sox, and from May 30th to June 1st, it's the New York Yankees. Should be a fun month, Dan.
Hazel, it should be indeed. Been a fun month so far for Chicago Cub fans. We know that. They're up 6-0 on the Pirates already. Beat them 7-2 last night. And with Jake Arrieta on the mound for Chicago tonight, boy, that lead seems pretty safe.
Yeah, but he's already given up a hit. So that takes all of the fun out of it. Well, what a season he has put together.
Here's Elvis Andrus leading off the 5th for the Rangers. A 1-0 Texas lead. A chopper to short. Tulowitzki on the money, 1 down. You look at that Cub team with Lester and Lackey among others behind Arrieta, and just so many good young players. Bryant and Rizzo have a chance to be like Manny Ramirez, David Ortiz like as teammates for a number of years. Anthony Rizzo is a great player, and re-signing Dexter Fowler was a big thing for them at the top of the order, center field. They lost Kyle Schwarber, who was a pretty significant player for them, but they've got the depth and the versatility to fill in the gaps. Brett Nicholas, the batter. And they hurt the Cardinals. They signed 2 players from St. Louis in Lackey and Hayward.
Yeah. And then the Dexter Fowler signing, that was really interesting because Baltimore thought that they had signed him to a 3-year contract. He ends up going back to the Cubs.
On a 1-year deal, right?
Yep.
Nicholas doubled his last time up, takes a change up of the knees, and the count is 1-1 here. The Cardinals right now still kind of feeling their way. It has not been a great start for St. Louis, although until recently they were scoring a ton of runs. They're at 500 right now, 13-13. Some concern about Adam Wainwright for the Cardinals.
Yeah, the Cardinals just aren't pitching the way we have become used to them pitching. 399 team earned run average.
Wainwright did have a pretty good effort last night. 6 innings, 3 earned runs. He picked up the win, got a lot of run support in a 10-3 win. But right now through 6 starts, Wainwright with a very un-Wainwright-like 6.68 ERA. Now the numbers can kind of get out of whack early if you have 1 or 2 bad outings. DeShields waiting on deck here for the Rangers. Top 5, 1-0 Texas. That's the way it's been since the first batter of the ball game when Odor homered. A high fly ball to right center field. Room for Pilar. 2 down.
The all-new Honda Civic, now available with Turbo, the 2016 North American Car of the Year.
Two down in the top of the 5th here at Rogers Center. A 1-0 lead for the Rangers, and here's Delino DeShields, who grounded out back to the mound his first time up. Estrada has really settled in after not looking really like himself at the beginning of the game. Gave up a home run to lead off the first, a walk, and a ground rule double in the second. But since that ground rule double, he's now set down 9 in a row.
Yeah, and Marco has a lot of confidence. You know, he gained a lot of confidence last year and really pitched very well all season long. So now, after battling his command early in this ball game, he's starting to make the pitches that we're used to seeing from Estrada, using all of his pitches very effectively.
When he was with the Brewers, he would have stretches like this, a game or two here, a couple of innings or 3 innings within a game, but he's been much more consistent as a Blue Jay than he ever was as a Brewer or a National.
No question about it. And the Brewers got him on the waiver wire from the Nationals, and then Blue Jays traded for Estrada.
Bounces in the curveball.
But he's had a track record of throwing stretches like this, but certainly he did it all season last year. And you know, starters, they'll go out there 32 times a season, and you have to battle through some starts sometimes.
Ground ball to short, under the glove of Tulowitzki into left field. He knows the speed of DeShields, and he was trying to circle around that ball a little bit, get ready for the throw, and never came up with the ball.
And Tulowitzki always makes an effort to get in front of that ball, and this time he's trying to get around it and play it off to the side. The ball took a hop over his glove into left field.
Second error of the season committed by Troy Tulowitzki. And DeShields has some speed, although he's been thrown out as often as he's been successful. He's 3 for 6 stealing. 2 down in the inning, and the batter is Odor. The command for Estrada has really improved. He's at 47 strikes, 26 balls. Remember, a couple of innings ago we were talking about it, and he was about dead even. Good change up there, 0-2.
Yeah, and you can tell by a pitcher's body language how he's feeling. And right now, Estrada's working much quicker, and Russell Martin's giving him the signs quicker. So he has really improved his tempo here in the middle innings.
Trying to pitch around the air, get out of the inning. He misses high with a fastball for ball 1. Odor just 22 years of age. And it looks like he has the potential to be a real impact player for the Rangers in the future. Power, speed, a lot of intensity and energy in his game. Chases the changeup, and the inning is over. He's frustrated, shaking his head as Estrada makes his way off the field. Estrada is locked in right now. Can the Blue Jay offense get something going? The Rangers are still up 1-0.
The Cubs and the Pirates continue their series tomorrow right here on Sportsnet and Sportsnet Now. NL Central rivals clashing in Pittsburgh. Anthony Rizzo and the Cubs take on Andrew McCutchen and the Pirates. Catch it tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern. Dan.
I think we'll do just that. Cubs up, as we mentioned, big on the Pirates right now. 6-0 at the end of 4 with Jake Arrieta on the mound. Kevin Pillar leads off the bottom of the 5th for the Blue Jays, who are down 1-0. Pillar hit into a double play back in the 2nd inning. 3 hits for the Blue Jays tonight, 2 of them to begin the 1st inning, 1 to lead off the 2nd. They just haven't been able to turn it into anything because of the double play balls. Martin Perez has walked a couple. He's pitched from behind a lot in this game. And is doing so again right now. Another 3-0 count.
Yeah, his ball moves all over the place, and he just hasn't been able to zero in on that strike zone. He has been pitching from behind, and you just got to think sooner or later that's going to catch up to him.
Three-1 on the way. And Pillar sends it foul down the left field line. A couple of feet foul.
Yeah, and Pillar is really swinging the bat well, as we mentioned in the open. He is coming off a 3-hit game last night and got a pitch. And watch the elevation of this pitch. It's about mid-thigh high, and he's just a little too quick and hooks it foul.
So again, Perez has gone 3-0, battled back to a full count. High fly ball center field. Back is DeShields, and on the warning track, about 395 feet away, he'll make the catch. One down here in the bottom of the 5th, and that'll bring up Russell Martin, who hit a fly ball very similar to the one that Pillar just hit in his first at bat.
Elvis Andrus, the shortstop, he is truly one of the leaders of this ball club. He had some encouraging words for Perez. Let's get ahead now. You fall behind and you're flirting with danger. He came right in onto the mound after that fly ball to center. Started hollering at him and said, "Hey man, let's go." And we mentioned you got a rookie catcher, so you have to lean on a more veteran shortstop and the third baseman to help Perez get through these innings.
I would imagine there are lots of times where a pitcher hears something from an infielder or a catcher or a coach, and the pitcher's like, "Well, you know, I'm trying." I mean, it's not like, I know I'm not supposed to fall behind 3-0 on everybody, but why don't you try it? You must have had unbelievable conversations over your major league career with pitchers.
Well, and you have to know your individual pitcher too. Some of them you can scream at, other ones you got to soft talk and just kind of kill them with kindness, if you will.
Did anybody ever scare you back to the plate just by looking at you when you headed out to the mound?
No. Steve tried to. No, but you know what? You just have to. That's the biggest part, most important part, is learning your pitchers.
There's a base hit for Russell Martin. He'll be held to a long single. And a little extra applause from the crowd. They know that Martin's been struggling badly, and they're almost as happy for him as he probably is for himself after that base hit.
Yeah, and that's the benefit you have if you're a regular player like Russell Martin. You know you're going to get 4 at-bats a day, so all you can do is just live in the moment. And you can't look at your batting average. You can't worry about yesterday's game. You have to think about every single at-bat, and that's a positive right there. Okay, middle of the diamond, base hit. That's where I'm supposed to stay.
Here's Darwin Barney, struck out his first time up. Martin was talking before the game about today's the only day that exists. Everything that's happened he's trying to put out of his mind. You know, you don't look at the scoreboard, you don't see the numbers out there. Clean slate mentally. He shaved the beard, trying to change his luck a little bit. Barney with a fly ball deep center. And the Blue Jays hitting a lot of 375 to 395 foot fly balls. Martin bluffed to start, went about a third of the way to second, but then puts the brakes on and heads back to first.
Yeah, and Perez, for being a ground ball pitcher, has had too many fly balls hit in this ballpark tonight.
The Blue Jays could have pulled a couple of these. They'd have been hitting them off the wall or over the wall, but they've all gone to straightaway center. Here's Michael Saunders, who had a base hit in the first, struck out in the third. The Blue Jays still down 1-0. A 2-1 win for Texas last night, in a game that in the last few innings had a playoff intensity, a playoff feel to it. Down and away. Good block there by Nicholas.
Yeah, and last night's game, of course, they had that great matchup of Sam Dyson against Jose Bautista late in the game. Of course, Dyson and Bautista, that's the matchup we had in the 7th inning of Game 5 of the division series when Jose hit the home run.
Dyson winning the battle last night. Bautista hit it hard, but flied out to right. Saunders takes a called strike, and the count is 1-1. After the Rangers series, the Dodgers are here over the weekend. Clayton Kershaw scheduled right now to pitch on Sunday. And the Blue Jays head out on the road to San Francisco and to Arlington. They'll see the Rangers again.
Then they'll be done with Texas. Middle of May, they're finished with the Texas Rangers, and there's one good aspect about that. They'll never see Yu Darvish this year.
That's true. If they do, it means things have gone well, and it's October. Looking at the Giants' schedule, the Blue Jays are likely to see Madison Bumgarner in the 3rd and final game of that series. If the Giants stay on schedule, they don't have any off days between now and then, so it looks like they will. Giants have added Johnny Cueto and Jeff Samardzija this year. They went out and spent some serious coin in the winter. And it's an even year, of course, so we all know what that means. Just outside to Saunders, and the count is full. If the inning continues, it will be Donaldson. Moreland comes off the bag at first. He'll play behind Martin, and will get a bit of a head start. There goes the runner, and the pitch down and away, ball 4. The 3rd walk surrendered by Perez tonight. Martin having some fun with Adrian Beltre. Martin kind of tore around second base as if he was going to make a play to third, see if he could get Beltre to bluff over towards the bag, and Beltre's like, come on, man. I've been around a while.
They were teammates with the Dodgers. They know each other very well, so Russell said, hey, I'm going to sneak over to third. No, you're not. I got my eye on you.
So 2 on, 2 out. And if you're a Blue Jays fan, this is the guy you wanted to play, Josh Donaldson. He has singled and walked tonight. Check the swing, and he takes a strike.
Donaldson, we've talked about him in the past, how he is thinking swing until his eyes tell him not to swing. And that's how he generates so much bat speed through the hitting zone. And we mentioned earlier tonight how Donaldson was a late bloomer. And he said, I just didn't understand my swing until I got to the big leagues. And it was nothing like I had envisioned because I didn't see myself in video. And then he made some dramatic changes and really utilizes his lower half to generate that great bat speed.
Throw to second, and back in safely is Martin.
Well, they put that play on after that meeting with the pitcher and catcher, and here comes Odor, and Russell able to get back safely.
Perez out in front on Donaldson. 0-1, 2 on, 2 out, bottom 5. And the pitch. And a check swing foul off on a breaking ball up in the zone, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, those are the ones that are really frustrating for a hitter. You see that high breaking ball, and then try to check your swing, and then watch how this check swing. It's a high breaking ball, and he just barely fouled it off.
So Nicholas back out to the mound for another quick conversation with Perez. And now he's going to head out again.
Somebody forgot. They may be going to go with no sign here with Martin at second base. And we've talked about how everybody in baseball is always looking to gain an advantage. It's difficult when you have 2 strikes as a hitter to do anything other than look for the baseball.
The 0-2. Just inside with a fastball.
Just inside.
Yeah. I mean, Donaldson looked very sure that that pitch was inside, and it appeared to have been inside, but it was pretty close. Sam Holbrook calling the balls and strikes tonight. Here's the 1-2. Got that breaking ball in on the hands of Donaldson, who couldn't keep it fair. Looks like everybody's okay, fortunately, down there.
Just enough to fight it off. It was off the plate inside, but he didn't want to take a second pitch that close.
Russell Martin, the leadoff second. Michael Saunders, the runner at first. 2 down in the inning. The Blue Jays in need of a big hit. The 1-2. This could be it. Did he keep it fair? Did he hit it far enough? It is just foul. Just foul down the left field line.
That 2-strike swing, he was just a little bit out in front of it, and he didn't really square it up. And he had too much hook on it as it had the distance, but hooked just to the left of that foul netting. Take a look at the umpire down the third base line and watch Beltre, the third baseman, as this ball is launched, and it's far enough, and that ball is going to hook just foul to the left of that netting.
So they'll do it all over again. Again, the 1-2, and a high fastball is fouled back out of play.
That's the best fastball of the night right there at 96 after that breaking ball, but Donaldson is still able to get that bat out and foul it off.
Two men on for the Blue Jays, 2 down here in the bottom of the 5th. And the reigning American League MVP trying to deliver in the clutch here for the Blue Jays. Another play on at second, and again back in safely is Martin.
Well, obviously that's not a bad gamble. If you can get out of the inning without throwing another pitch to Donaldson, you're in good shape. It also shortens up Russell Martin's lead with 2 outs here, so he can't be quite as aggressive getting that secondary lead off the bag.
Again, the 1-2 bounced in and away from Nicholas, and the runners will advance on the wild pitch.
You see, that's a changeup. He turns over and it bounces in front of the catcher, kicks off the heel of his glove and goes back to the backstop. So now Josh Donaldson's at bat changes dramatically as he has the whole field to play with a man at third, the tying run at third, the go-ahead run at second. He may have been thinking about hitting a double, being more aggressive. Now with the 2 runners in scoring position, he can use the whole field.
2 balls, 2 strikes the count. Way high to the backstop, but it bounces right back to the catcher Nicholas, so the runners have to put the brakes on and go back.
Yeah, and Beltre is going to come over from third base now, the veteran, saying, hey, Martin, we got the lead here. You 2 guys have to get your heads together. And Beltre wants to make sure everybody is on the same page. As you see, Tom Wilhelmsen, big righty, is loosening up for the Rangers. Beltre called timeout and said, wait a minute, we got to talk about this pitch.
Boy, all of a sudden things have gotten very dicey here for Martin Perez. A base open, Bautista on deck, 2 men on, and a full count on Josh Donaldson. There it comes. Strike 3 called. Donaldson will not argue. Perez somehow gets out of it, and the Blue Jays leave 2 more men on base.
Fans, join the big leagues and use the Blue Jays Acura Luxury Suite for business meeting and a baseball game. Call our account executives and find the package that best suits you. 416-341-1635 or bluejays.com/luxury suites. Dan.
Hazel, thank you. Top 6 here at Rogers Center. Dan Shulman and Buck Martinez, a 1-0 lead for the Rangers over the Blue Jays. Well, the Blue Jays have had their chances, to say the least. They just left 2 men on in scoring position. They've left 5 men on through 5. They're down 1-0 as Mazara, Beltre, and Fielder come up here in the 6th against Marco Estrada, who's at 76 pitches entering the inning. And it's called a strike on the outside corner. Looked a little bit wide. Mazara is 0 for 2. Couple of ground outs tonight.
Well, there's that cutter, and it was a well-placed pitch. Just enough movement to take it off the barrel, and Mazara made contact right around the label of that bat. And boy, Marco has made a dramatic adjustment here in the middle of this ball game.
And a swing and a miss. He gets Mazara on 3 pitches.
Home Hardware and Building Center locations. Proud partners of the Toronto Blue Jays. Homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice.
I'd take one of those. I'd take 2 of those. Curveball. Beltre's just, he's great to watch in the batter's box. So demonstrative and expressive, going down to a knee as he looked that curveball right into the mitt, but he takes a strike. This is a guy who loves to play the game.
Well, and he's the type of leader that everybody respects. He plays hard, he plays hurt, puts up big numbers, and when he speaks, everybody listens on that Rangers team. Well, that's a good changeup. Just sailed off the plate inside.
Saw some of the scores rolling by moments ago. The Orioles are now up 2-1 on the Yankees, middle of the 5th at Camden Yards. The Yankees are having a terrible time right now. They are 8-15 on the season. They are not scoring any runs at all. They just got swept by the Red Sox at Fenway. They'll play the Red Sox again this weekend at Yankee Stadium. A ground ball to the right side. Barney rather to his left, scoops it up and on to first. 2 down as we check in with Jamie Campbell.
Baltimore got some bad news. They lost their shortstop, J.J. Hardy. Fouled the ball off his foot and suffered a fracture in his foot, and he's going to be on the shelf for a while. So Ryan Flaherty is back.
And there, I think Manny Machado might slide over.
Yeah, that's what they're talking about doing.
And Estrada has thrown some of his best changeups tonight to Prince Fielder. The couple in the last at bat and the first one here in this at bat.
Machado is playing short tonight, and Flaherty's playing third base. And Manny, of course, is a natural shortstop.
You know, he gets lost a little bit in the Trout-Harper conversation, and Carlos Correa coming up last year. These are all phenomenal players. Manny Machado, if he's not right there, he's awfully close.
Yeah, he's in that same group, that's for sure. Machado entering play tonight, hitting .350, tied with Victor Martinez. They're just behind Nick Castellanos of the Tigers. And Machado has 7 home runs. He's all over the leaderboard offensively. 12 multi-hit games, plus the great defense.
Fouled back, and it's 2-2. It's got to be frustrating for hitters. It feels like sometimes they're sitting on the changeup. They know he's going to throw a changeup, and they still can't square it up.
Yeah, this is where that spin factor comes in. He has tremendous spin on that changeup, and you just never really see the ball very well.
Fly ball to left field, over near the line. Saunders will run it down, and the inning is over. The Rangers go in order. To the bottom of the 6th, Bautista, Encarnacion, and Tulowitzki in a 1-0 game.
Enter for your chance to cheer on your Blue Jays in Boston with WestJet. Go to BlueJays.com/WestJet Flyaway to enter.
Bottom 6 at Rogers Center. And a new pitcher on for the Texas Rangers. Martin Perez kind of wobbled his way through 5 shutout innings. Here's Tom Wilhelmsen, the former Seattle Mariner. You can see some pretty ugly numbers for him. He has given up 5 earned runs in 2 separate appearances this year. One against the Mariners, his old team, one against the Orioles. Other than that, and granted that's a big that to get pummeled like that twice. Other than that, he's been really good, but the overall numbers are not good at all for Wilhelmsen, who has been a closer at times. Had a very good year for the Mariners in 2012, saved 29 games, saved 13 as recently as last year before he was taken out of the closer's position. Bautista laces one just foul down the left field line. And there is activity in the Blue Jays bullpen as well, suggesting that maybe Marco Estrada's night is done. Jesse Chavez has started throwing. Pulled foul again, 0-2.
Beltre took a step closer to the line after that first swing by Bautista. And that time he was really guarding the line, and it was foul just outside the bag at third.
1-0 the Rangers lead. 1-0 they have led since the top of the first. You see Estrada still there with the arm wrap, but Chavez is throwing. 0-2 curveball down and in. After Bautista, Encarnacion, and Tulowitzki. The Blue Jays out hitting the Rangers 4-2, but they've left 5 men on. Texas has left 3 men on. And the pitch. Swing and a miss, and Bautista strikes out. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Dan Shulman and Buck Martinez with you at Rogers Center. Glad you're with us. Hazel May here as well, of course. Jamie Campbell, Greg Zahn. 1-0 Texas, bottom 6. Edwin Encarnacion a walk and a ground out tonight. The 1-0 swing and a miss. 1-1.
96 with that fastball. Wilhelmsen's is 6'6", and he creates a very difficult angle. That high to low arm slot, and then that curveball over the top. A very good pitch for him.
Up to 97 on that one.
Back end of their bullpen has been very effective, but it's the middle innings like Wilhelmsen that have caused some concern for the Rangers to this point.
The 1-2. And a curveball in the dirt, bounces away from Nicholas, evens up the count of 2 balls and 2 strikes.
One big part of their bullpen is on the disabled list. Keone Kela, who was so good down the stretch for them last year, has had bone chips taken out of his elbow, and he's going to be out for probably 3 months or so.
They always seem to be dealing with something. They had a tremendous number of injuries the last 2 years, especially in the starting rotation. Curveball low, full count. They started last year with 4 of their 5 projected starting pitchers on the DL. Got off to a terrible start, got healthy, got going, and won the West. Caught Houston very late in the season. The Astros faded in the last couple of weeks. 3-2. And a ground ball to short. 2 down. The Blue Jays have lost 4 consecutive games here at Rogers Center, and they have only scored 7 runs in those 4 games.
That started with that 3-game sweep at the hands of the Chicago White Sox. Miguel Gonzalez started that series, and they got to him, but they lost it late as the White Sox came back, and then Chris Sale and Jose Quintana really shut down the offense totally. A couple of tough lefties.
Next couple of days, the Blue Jays will face Colby Lewis and Derek Holland for the Rangers before the Dodgers come to town. There's a base hit into left field for Tulowitzki.
That's just the 5th hit for the Blue Jays, and you can see it's a 2-seam fastball that's down. He hit it off the end of the bat, but goes into left field for a base hit. And Tulowitzki just trying to put together some at-bats, some hits, and get something going offensively.
The batter, Justin Smoke, a base hit and a strikeout for the Blue Jays first baseman. Now 5 hits on the night for the Blue Jays, but still looking to find a way to score that first run. Smoke turns around to bat from the left side against the right-hander Wilhelmsen. And the Rangers, not surprisingly, will put the shift on. Smoke figures to get a pretty good opportunity to play, if not every day, pretty close to it over the next few weeks. After the suspension of Chris Colabello, Matt Dominguez has played a couple of times against lefties, but Smoke started this game tonight against the lefties.
Yeah, and the thing about Justin is he hit 18 home runs last year and fewer than 300 at bats, so you just got to give him a chance to get some rhythm at the plate. He's a terrific defender at first, obviously. I think that power potential is intriguing.
Chase is down and in, and the count is now 1-2. And for a guy who didn't hit for much of an average last year, he was very productive.
Inconsistent at bats early in the season really hurt him, as Jose Bautista had a DH with his shoulder problems toward the end of April, and Smoke then got pushed to the bench.
High fly ball to left field, pretty well hit, but Desmond will have room. About the 4th warning track fly ball that the Blue Jays have hit tonight. They will leave another man on, and they're still down 1-0.
Blue Jays spirit. Enter the TD Comfort Zone contest by posting a video or photo of you, tagging @Blue Jays, and including hashtag TD Tuesday on Twitter or Instagram for a chance to win. For full contest rules and details, visit bluejays.com/Comfort Zone.
John Gibbons has gone to the bullpen for right-hander Jesse Chavez, who has pitched very well so far this year, especially tough on right-handed batters. They're just 2 for 20 against him. Marco Estrada goes 6 innings, gives up just a run on 2 hits, throws 88 pitches. And now Chavez is on to face Desmond, Moreland, and Andrus here in the top of the 7th.
Chavez has really thrown the ball well, as you mentioned, Dan, and he's got a very good fastball, and it's got late life, especially when he cuts it away to the right-handed hitters. I think John Gibbons was anxious to bring the bullpen in with nobody on base, give him a clean inning to start. They've had a rough time with inherited base runners to this point of the season.
And about 45% of inherited runners have scored against the Blue Jays bullpen. There's a fastball in for a strike, and it's quickly 0-2 on Ian Desmond. Chavez, big strikeout numbers so far, 13 in 9 1/3 innings through 10 appearances this year. And a swing and a miss at a breaking ball. 3 pitches and gone.
Well, anytime a manager can put his bullpen into a favorable situation, he's going to take advantage of it. And it's a 1-0 game. The Blue Jays are behind, and you see where they rank. 0-9. That's last in the American League, of course. The ERA is 12th. Opponent's batting average 14th. The WHIP, they're all near the bottom. And they're 0-9, as we mentioned, and there has not been a team's bullpen go 0-10 since the '93 Mets, when they got off to an 0-10 start.
Last team to have a bullpen start 0-9, the 2004 Expos. Mitch Moreland, the batter, a walk and a ground out. A run on just 2 hits for the Rangers, no runs on 5 hits for the Blue Jays. And the 0-1 fastball right on the edge, and it's 0-2. Left-hander Jake Diekman. He can bring it. He is up for the Rangers right now. He does not. He just does not look like any fun. especially for a left-handed batter to go up there against.
Yeah, he's got that crossfire delivery. He steps toward the first base foul line and then fires that fastball, sometimes a triple-digit fastball.
Only left-handed batter the Blue Jays have in the lineup tonight is Saunders. He's due up fourth. A pitch outside of the knees. Two on the way. Breaking ball way down and in, and Chavez in frustration slaps his bare hand into his mitt. Elvis Andrus on deck for the Rangers. And it's outside, ball four. Chavez is asking for an appeal. They'll grant the appeal, but no swing, ball four.
Blue Jays on Sportsnet. Presented by the all-new Honda Civic. Now available with Turbo. The 2016 North American Car of the Year.
Top seven at Rogers Center. 1-0 Texas. Another pitcher's duel, just as was the case last night. Here's Andrus, and he'll swing at the first pitch and pop it up in foul territory, but this will get back out of play over the first base dugout. Andrus, a fly ball and a ground out tonight. The average just over 300 at 302. You know, it seems like so long ago, but at one point the Rangers had the top prospect in all of baseball, Jurickson Profar. But he has suffered so many injuries, and then Odor came on the scene and played so well that he took over the job at second base. Profar has not played in the majors since 2013. Still a young guy, 23 years of age. And checking out his numbers, he's at AAA, playing regularly right now at AAA Round Rock, where he's hitting .295, but he's fallen behind Odor on the depth chart, obviously, and he may be stuck, or may just be a case of if he can get healthy and play reasonably well, maybe he becomes a trade chip for the Rangers.
Yeah, and I think that's what everybody's hoping for, because he had a major shoulder injury and it kept him out quite a while. He missed the entire 14 season and played just 12 games last year, all in the minor leagues, and he has been dealing with that significant shoulder injury.
1-2, chop foul. Brett Cecil is up in the pen. Threw one pitch, got an out last night. Check swing, 2-2.
Yeah, and the bullpen is well rested, obviously. Cecil threw that one pitch and got out of the inning, and then Drew Storen had a 1-2-3 inning. So all hands on deck tonight, and certainly the Blue Jays are desperate for a win, so they're going to play matchup from here on out.
The Blue Jays are 3 games under 500. They have not been 4 games under 500 at any point this season. This is the 3rd time they've been 3 games under. Nice pick at third. Donaldson to second one. Not in time at first, but a terrific play to get one out.
Well, Donaldson has played great defensively all season long, and this ball was smoked, and you can see Andrus is upset. He was thinking about a double, and he almost hit into a double play. Donaldson reacts to his right and then plays it to the backhand side, and the momentum of the ball takes him to the ground, and he does the inside turn and still gets enough on the throw. You can see he got a lot of glove when he went in to find that ball and took a little bit of time away from his throw to second.
So 2 down in the inning. Andrus replaces Moreland at first, and here's Nicholas, who has doubled and flied out. Again, the break the Blue Jays got back in the second inning when the double by Nicholas bounced over the fence in left center. Otherwise, Moreland would have scored from first without much trouble at all, but the ground rule double meant he had to stop at third. Otherwise, it would have been another run. The count 0-2.
Russell Martin had put a pickoff play on at first base. He had an inside pitch and was hoping to get a swing and a miss because he had Smokey on alert. He's going to take a shot at picking off Andrews.
Just outside. Chavez, second time around as a Blue Jay, acquired in the offseason for reliever Liam Hendricks. Somebody's getting shushed. Andrews does not have a steal on the season. Chavez straightens up at the side. Runner goes. 1-2 is high. Throw down by Martin and safe at second. Very close, but the ball may have squirted out of the glove of Tulowitzki. Otherwise, that might have been the end of the inning.
What a perfect throw by Russell Martin, and he has not really gotten off to a great start throwing, but that was an exceptional throw. This is the first stolen base. You can see the ball gets there in time, but Tulowitzki just couldn't grab it cleanly. He goes down and it's off the fingertips, and then the hand of Andrews knocks the ball loose.
So now a runner in scoring position. The 2-2 swung on and missed, and the inning is over. A couple of strikeouts in the inning for Chavez. Seventh inning stretch at Rogers Center, still 1-0 Texas.
Rogers customers get free VIP Blue Jays experiences like alumni meet and greet, seat upgrades, offers, and more with Game Plus, part of the MLB.com ballpark app. Learn more at BlueJays.com/Game Plus.
Hazel left-hander Jake Diekman comes out of the Texas pen. A hard throw-in lefty. Trying to protect this 1-0 lead in the bottom of the seventh. He's going to face three right-handed batters in Kevin Pillar, Russell Martin, Darwin Barney.
You can see the batting averages. He handles both righties and lefties very well. He's a hard thrower, and the Rangers got him along with Cole Hamels from the Philadelphia Phillies last July, and what a addition he has been to their bullpen.
Pillar is 0 for 2. Blue Jays had the leadoff man on in both the first and second. Got runners in scoring position in the first and the fifth. Have had some chances here and there. Only one 3-up, 3-down inning through the first 6, but they have left 6 men on. and they've headed to 2 double plays.
Diekman made 4 appearances against the Blue Jays in the division series. He allowed just 2 hits in 6 innings.
Big swing and a miss, 1-2 on Pilar.
And he's got a strikeout pitch, both the fastball and the slider. He had 5 strikeouts in the postseason in those 6 innings of work.
Well, the way this is lining up for Jeff Bannister, if things continue to go well for the Rangers, you're looking at Dyson in the 8th and Tollefson in the 9th, with the possibility of another Dyson-Bautista matchup looms. But of course, a lot can change between now and then. That hit him right in the foot. Wow. I mean, there is no way he could have gotten out of the way of that.
Now you're anchored on that back leg, and it's difficult to move that back foot. That's what the pitchers call that back foot breaking ball. And Pilar reaches base to start the inning. He's trying to bury this slider down and in, and you can see it actually clipped him on the front foot. But he's aboard. That represents the tying run.
So again, when you're scuffling, will the Blue Jays decide to do anything differently, whether it's a hit and run, a steal? Probably not with a lefty on the mound. Or do they play it straight up and hope the bats can deliver a couple more hits?
Well, and it's John Gibbons is one not to panic, try to change their style. They kind of just stick to the game plan. He doesn't do a lot of hitting and running with these guys.
Yeah.
In the past, they've all been very good hitters, and the ability to hit doubles is what they're hoping for.
Diekman helping them out right now, unable to find the strike zone. Kind of hard to hit and run on a guy who could put one right down the middle and then hit you in the toe with the next pitch, too.
It's very difficult. You certainly don't know where he's going to throw it.
Martin with a base hit his last time up, 1 for 2 tonight. That's inside, ball 3. Darwin Barney waiting on deck. Michael Saunders behind him. 3-0. Runs inside, ball 4. 2 men on with nobody out.
Well, this is where you really run into a dilemma if you're John Gibbons. You got a guy that's having trouble throwing strikes. Do you want to give him an out and sacrifice in this situation? You look at Barney now, obviously coming from the National League, he has been adept at sacrificing his whole career. So the defense in to help Diekman now, give him the bunt defense as the third baseman Beltre goes through the signs, and Tony Barnett just now getting up. He picked up his first big league win in the game last night.
Well, you know, Diekman's going to face Barney and Saunders, because Saunders is a left-handed batter. Barnett may be brought in for Donaldson. The Rangers are certainly expecting a bunt. Barney squares and takes a strike.
They're playing the wheel play now as Beltre's really crashing in from third base, and Andrews goes to third. Moreland, the first baseman, looking at Beltre, who's going through the signs. So this is important for the pitcher to unload quickly. When the shortstop breaks to third, he's got to unload that pitch so it doesn't give Barney a big hole to shoot through.
Barney squares early again and bunts it foul. So he took a strike, bunts it foul, and now not an automatic, but you got to think pretty close to an automatic. They take it off at 0-2.
Yeah, and it's very difficult. Of course, Diekman threw that nasty pitch, and now you would think they would take it off, but the Blue Jays have grounded into 2 double plays already tonight. They just haven't been able to string hits together and have big innings we were so used to last year.
Moreland's not backing up that far. Beltre's even with a bag at third. It's been a combination of inability to come up with a clutch hit and also not executing well at times that has hurt the Blue Jays. And this one will be back out of play.
You certainly don't want to ask Bonnie to bunt with 2 strikes with the left-hander on deck. But you were asking him earlier. Now he's just got a battle.
Michael Saunders on deck. Barnett warming in the pen. Blue Jays hoping to get the likes of Donaldson and Bautista up this inning with some traffic on the bases. They're down 1-0 in the bottom of the 7th. They've left 6 men on so far tonight. You can see Donaldson is chomping at the bit to get up to the plate. Again, the 0-2.
You have no room to take close pitches.
No.
With 2 strikes, Barney got a piece of that one. That was a nasty breaking ball.
You know, he's tall and lanky and left-handed like Andrew Miller, but he doesn't have Miller's command. Now, it took Miller years to get the command he has now, but he's almost like a raw, unrefined Andrew Miller out there. Big fastball, sharp breaking ball, but you just never know quite where it's going. Way outside.
Yeah, this is where Barney just has to let him turn it loose, protect the plate, and try to put one in play over the infield.
One ball, 2 strikes the count, and the pitch upstairs. 2-2. Very good speed at second and Kevin Pillar. Russell Martin is the runner at first. Nobody out in the inning. And the Blue Jays looking to break through against Jake Diekman. A look back at Pillar and the 2-2 way outside again. I mean, he's got that plate surrounded right now. Look at all those pitches, how far away he has missed, and he's run the count full.
And he really changed his delivery on that last pitch, just trying to throw a strike, and he missed badly. He's all over the map.
Yep. Count now full. Donaldson a couple of batters away. In all likelihood, you got to believe he's going to be facing Barnett. One way or the other, Barnett's been up for a while. Picked up his first major league win last night. Diekman in there to try to get a Barney and then face the left-hand hitting Saunders. But he has hit a batter, he's walked a batter, and now the count is full on Barney. 3-2 again.
Darwin's a veteran, and he understands now it's just a battle. That last pitch was 95, but he was able to put the bat on it, foul it off. He mentioned he's gotten some big hits for the Blue Jays in his short tenure here, including that leadoff pinch hit double on Sunday.
So the battle continues between Diekman and Barney. The 10th pitch of the at-bat. Fouled off again. Crowd getting a little bit noisier with every pitch, appreciating how Barney's hanging in. Another 3-2 and another foul ball.
Barney's hanging tough, and this is an unusual situation here. Look where Mitch Moreland has set up the first baseman. He does not have to worry about Russell Martin getting a big lead with that new rule at second base on the double play situation. So now you're allowing the defense to cover more territory because you know Martin can't break up a double play.
It's unbelievable. Barney deserves a lot of credit.
Well, Darwin was an everyday player for the Cubs, so he has been through these situations in the past. 3 times in his career he had over 500 at bats. So this is nothing new. Tough at bat.
So he's fouled off 7 pitches in the at bat. He has seen 12 pitches in all. Diekman has thrown 21 pitches, hasn't gotten an out yet. A team in desperate need of a big hit. 3-2 again. And another foul ball.
Breaking ball that time, but he was able to pull it foul. Quite a battle going on, and Darwin just shortening up, trying to come up with a base hit here.
Maybe Barnett got lonely, so they told Phil Klein to get up and start throwing. They got 2 righties up in the pen right now. In all likelihood, it would be just a guess, but Barnett, if it's still a 1-run lead or a tie, maybe Klein if they fall behind, if the Blue Jays do something big this inning. Got to be frustrating for a pitcher to throw this many pitches, and the hitter keeps fouling off everything you throw.
Yeah, you have a tendency to try to make the pitch better, and that's generally when you make a mistake.
Strike 3 called on the 15th pitch of the at bat.
Barney had a heck of an at bat, but this pitch, it's the breaking ball and catches the outside corner. He had been fighting off pitches off the plate inside, spoiling pitches away. He just couldn't pull the trigger on that last slider.
Barney gave it everything he had, but ends up striking out for the first out. Jeff Bannister checking on the progress down to the bullpen as Doug Roquel, the pitching coach, is out to the mound. I mean, you got to believe one way or the other that Diekman faces Saunders, the lefty-lefty matchup. And whichever pitcher they've got in the bullpen should be ready by the time this at bat is done.
Yeah, they've had plenty of time to get loose. They can have whoever they want now.
Saunders has singled, struck out, and walked. The Blue Jays are now 0 for 4 tonight with runners in scoring position. This has been a real problem for them for most of the young season. In their last 12 games, they've lost 8 of them, and they're hitting just .195 as a team with runners in scoring position. Add on the 0 for 4 tonight. Just low, ball 1.
Saunders done a good job against lefty pitching. Has another hit tonight, 1 for 2. His 7th hit against left-handed pitching.
I would think as a left-handed batter, you've really got to tell yourself to hang in against this guy. He's big, he throws hard, and you're not quite sure where it's going half the time.
Well, and the thing about Saunders against the lefties, he has 2 doubles and 3 home runs. So his hits have been extra base hits, and he's done some damage.
Boy, it feels like Pilar and Martin have been out on the bases for about half an hour here. 2-0 chopped, foul, just foul up the first base line, 2-1. Barney recounting that 15 pitch at bat, that battle he had with Diekman. Runners make their way back. Saunders makes his way back to the plate. Relievers looking on, ready if needed in the bullpen. And the crowd here tonight just trying to will this team to a clutch hit to turn this ball game around. A look back by Diekman, and now the 2-1 to Saunders. Swung on and missed, 2-2. Again, if you think back to the Barney at bat, as great as it was, he didn't get the bunt down at the beginning of the at bat. They were trying to get the bunt down and advance the runners. Once he got to 2 strikes, they took the bunt off. Swung on and missed. And Saunders strikes out for out number 2. And now the move to the bullpen. So Diekman was out there a while, but he got a couple of outs.
Yeah, it took him a long time to get 2 outs, and there's still 2 aboard. So Bannister will go to the bullpen.
And it'll be Barnett, the winner in last night's game, who will take over, inherit a couple of runners, and have to deal with Josh Donaldson when we come back. Texas still clinging to a 1-0 lead.
T-shirt presented by Honda. Thursday, May 5th, the first 15,000 fans will receive a Throwback Thursday ALDS Game 5 T-shirt. It takes place in the series finale versus the Rangers at 7:07 p.m. Visit BlueJays.com for tickets.
Now Josh Donaldson will be the batter for the Blue Jays with 2 men on and 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th inning. It was 2 men on with nobody out before Diekman struck out Barney and Saunders. And now Tony Barnett, the winner in last night's game, faces Donaldson. Barnett, the 32-year-old from Anchorage, Alaska, already making his 12th appearance of the season. Pitched for a number of years in the minors and then for several years in Japan. This year his first ever opportunity in the big leagues. On the corner, 1-1.
He was a closer in Japan, so he has experience in these types of innings. Josh Donaldson trying to figure out a way to get Pilar in.
The 1-1. And a nice block by Nicholas behind the plate. Ball 2. So Martin Perez went 5 shutout innings. Wilhelmsen the 6th. Diekman a couple of outs and a couple of runners here in the 7th. And now Barnett on to try to get Donaldson and keep this 1-0 Texas lead intact. Donaldson a base hit, a walk, and a strikeout tonight. Here's the 2-1 and a swing and a liner off the end of the bat, and on comes a charging Desmond to make the catch and end the inning. So another missed opportunity for the Blue Jays. They have not been able to come up with the clutch hit tonight, and at the end of 7 they're still trailing. They're still being shut out. The Rangers still lead 1-0. The leadoff home run by Rougned Odor way back in the first inning, the only blemish on the line of Marco Estrada tonight, Buck.
Another good outing for Estrada, and boy, he really got locked in later on in the game. The only runner that reached base was that error by Tulowitzki, and he had really settled in, done a nice job. Allowed just 2 hits, and that earned run came to the first batter of the ball game.
Top of the 8th, and here's Delino to Shields. He's 0 for 2. He'll be followed by Odor and then Nomar Mazara. Jesse Chavez, his second inning of work out of the Blue Jays bullpen. Just 2 hits tonight for Texas, but one of them enough to give them a lead that they still hold. Tomorrow night we'll be back with you as Colby Lewis takes on Aaron Sanchez, and then the series wraps up Thursday night. Derek Holland against Jay Happ. Fly ball slicing down the right field line and foul out of play. Brett Cecil's up again, and he's got some company. Roberto Osuna is now up in the Blue Jays pen. Oh, 2. And it is strike 3 called. Third strikeout already for Chavez. Drive of the Game is brought to you by all new Honda Civic, the 2016 North American Car of the Year.
Well, it was the first batter of the ball game, and little did we think this would be the only run of the game. It's a high fastball, and Rougned Odor takes it deep to right. For Odor, that's his 4th home run of the season. He had 16 last year. And in 2014, he had 9 home runs and just 386 at bats. So he's got surprising power in a small package.
But he's not going to face Chavez. He's going to face the lefty Brett Cecil, who threw 1 pitch, got 1 out last night, is back out there again tonight. Chavez does his job. Of a rough start to the season, did get an out on 1 pitch last night. 0-5 on the season, elevated ERA. The Blue Jays seem to feel the problem is not pitch quality, it's more pitch selection.
Yeah, and I think when Brett just got off to kind of a rough start, he hasn't made those same quality pitches we have seen, and it's just a matter of wrong pitch, wrong time, in particular at bats. The stuff is still the same. It's the first pitch cutter that sails upstairs. He's got the velocity's good. His break on his curveball is good. I just think he's made some mistakes as far as pitch selection early on.
Odor with a home run, the only run of the night, to lead off the ball game. He's also flied out and struck out. And he grounds one through the right side, a base hit. That's the first hit for the Rangers since the 2nd inning.
This looks like another cutter that was away, and Odor is able just to hook it through the hole on the right side of the infield.
Two pitchers up now in the Blue Jays pen as a ground ball is sent up the middle. Diving stop Tulowitzki, but the flip to second is not in time. And Cecil comes on to face two lefties, and they both come up with a base hit.
And that's kind of been the way it's gone for Brett Cecil. Neither one of those balls was really smoked, and this ball has a seeing eye base hit. Tulowitzki, a desperation toss, but not in time to get Odor, and this is kind of the way it's been for Brett Cecil. He makes two pretty good pitches on lefties and ends up giving up two hits.
And that's going to be all. John Gibbons was not going to let him face the right-handed batters, and man, Cecil getting booed as he comes off the field. And Roberto Osuna is going to come into the game in the 8th inning in a game in which the Blue Jays are trailing.
Yeah, and it's just because he hasn't had too many opportunities to pitch. He's had 6 save opportunities and converted them all. So now it's a matter of him coming in here and just saving this inning.
We will step aside one more time. The Rangers with the lead and threatening to add to it, with the heart of their order coming up here in the top of the 8th. Odor, and then an infield hit to Nomar Mazara, and now Roberto Osuna comes on, last pitched on Sunday, just trying to keep this at a 1-run deficit. Adrian Beltre is the batter.
Osuna had the 5-out save in Game 5 of the division series against the Texas Rangers to wrap up that series.
One 0 to Beltre, misses outside for ball 2. The Blue Jays have been unable to take advantage of their opportunities tonight. The Rangers try to take advantage of one here and extend the lead. Beltre's 0 for 3, hitting .280. Big cut and a foul back, 2-1.
Now Osuna's got another weapon that the Rangers haven't seen an awful lot of, and that's that slider. He has thrown it very effectively. Fastball, slider, and a changeup. Obviously his bread and butter is the great fastball, but now he has confidence he can use the slider and the changeup to get him out of tough situations.
Just 21 years old, the second youngest player in the majors. The youngest player in the majors is the base runner at first for Texas. There's a fastball for a strike, 2-2. Nomar Mazara is the only guy in baseball younger than Roberto Osuna.
And they're both playing like they've been in the big leagues 10 years. Off to a great start for Mazara in his first season, and Osuna, of course, had a great run last year in his rookie year.
Two. In the air, shallow right. Who's going to get there? Barney with a great over-the-shoulder catch, throw to third, and they got him. What a sensational play by Darwin Barney.
Well, Odor took exception to the hard tag by Donaldson, and Osuna played peacemaker. And these two teams have had a history, obviously, going back to the postseason last year. But Donaldson, he wanted to make sure everybody understands that he's out. Great play by Barney, and he never hesitated to think about where he was going to throw it. Donaldson puts the tag on Odor. He says, hey, what's up with that? And then Osuna comes over to play peacemaker and keep everybody calm in this situation.
Time now for a Blue Jays Central update. Here are Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn from the Samsung broadcast studio. They meet again. Sam Dyson, Jose Bautista. Last night, Bautista hit the ball hard, but right at Mazzara in right field. Of course, everybody remembers what happened last October. The stakes not quite as high right now as Dyson comes on. Here to protect a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the 8th inning. The crowd, though, all fired up by another opportunity to see this matchup.
Sam Dyson handled the questions after the game very professionally. He said, hey, he's going to win some of those battles, and I'm going to win some of those battles. And last night, I won that battle as I got him to fly out.
Texas won, the Blue Jays nothing, bottom 8. And a virtual carbon copy of what happened last night. One down.
Bautista hit it hard last night, does the same tonight, but both times flies out to the right fielder.
There's been a lot of head shaking and grumbling amongst these Blue Jay hitters in recent games. One down for Edwin Encarnacion, who's 0 for 2 with a walk. And a strike. Rangers bring some heat out of that bullpen. Diekman's 96-97. Dyson's 96. Oh, 1. Breaking ball fouled off. 0-2.
Bautista hit that ball hard, but you obviously can't guide it.
Looked like he might be talking or listening or engaging somebody on the other side of the field, the way that in the direction he was looking. Don't know if anything's going on at all. Things calm right now. Outside.
See, that last pitch was 96, and Dyson's got terrific movement on that fastball. A little bit of a cutter that goes away from right-handed hitters, but that bread and butter pitch is his sinking fastball. Looked like he took something off. That was a changeup at 90 miles an hour.
Crazy to think that pitchers throw changeups at 90 miles an hour.
Yeah, it's really interesting, and Felix Hernandez, of course, is the guy that really started that trend.
2-2 outside with a fastball at 98 and the count now full. Troy Tulowitzki on deck. Rougned Odor homering to lead off the top of the first. That is the only run of the game. Bouncer to second, right at Odor. And an easy play to first for out number 2.
Yeah, you would think when these two ball clubs get together, it's going to be a little bit more scoring in a game, but you got to tip your cap to both pitching staffs. Blue Jays lost 2-1 last night, and they trail 1-0 tonight.
So with 2 down and the base is empty, the batter will be Troy Tulowitzki. 1 for 3 tonight. Had a base hit his last time up. Right on the outside corner for a strike. Joe Biagini is still up in the bullpen throwing right now for the Blue Jays. All is quiet on the Texas side. Boy, 2 good pitches.
Can't make him any better.
Yeah.
97 on the corner. Tulowitzki facing Dyson last night. Hit that fly ball to right that turned into that inning-ending double play.
One and 2 the count on Tulowitzki. Justin Smoke on deck should the inning continue. You can see there's some long faces in that third base dugout, and there have been last couple of nights. They just can't find a way to score some runs. Ryan Goins trying to keep the enthusiasm up, not in the starting lineup tonight. There hasn't been a whole lot to cheer about.
It's baffling to everybody, especially the hitters.
And the inning is over. Dyson gets the Blue Jays in order. We're at the end of 8 at Rogers Center, and it's still 1-0 Texas. Ninth inning at Rogers Center, and for the 6th time this season, Buck, rookie right-hander Joe Biagini is into the game.
Yeah, he hasn't had too many opportunities to pitch simply because there haven't been those lopsided games one way or another, but he's in to pitch in this one-run game here, trying to keep it just that in the 9th inning. He's got pretty good control, and he does a nice job of pounding the strike zone down. He's got a good moving fastball, a cutter that he's starting to incorporate, and a very good curveball.
A 2-1 win for the Rangers last night, a 1-0 lead for Texas tonight. We mentioned last night the Blue Jays are just 2-7 this year in one-run games, and they're trailing by 1 right now going to the 9th. Fielder, Desmond, and Moreland to face Biagini after Osuna came in the 8th inning with men on base and got the pop-up that turned into a double play. Down the left field line, that is a fair ball. And Fielder's going to rumble around first and coast into second with a leadoff double.
Fielder obviously not familiar with Biagini, but he hits his 5th double of the season, and now he's going to be lifted in favor of a pinch runner. As you look at that ball sliced down the left field line, and that's when Fielder is the most dangerous, when he's using the whole field and hitting that ball in the alley.
And Sir Alberto in to run for Fielder, who's the DH tonight. So Alberto will pinch run for him at second as the Rangers look to give Sean Tollison, their closer, a little bit more of a cushion. High fives all the way around for Fielder in the dugout. And let's see what Jeff Bannister is up to as Tollison has started throwing. See what Jeff Bannister is up to with Ian Desmond at the plate. Corner infielders for the Blue Jays basically even with the bags. Swinging away, and he fouls it back. Desmond has flied out, lined out hard to third, and struck out his last time up. Runs inside, a ball and a strike.
You can see how Russell Martin really had trouble corralling that fastball. It's got late movement and real good sink. And Biagini creates a very difficult downhill plane, that sinking fastball.
He's an interesting guy to talk to as well. You've spoken to him more than I have, but he's a bit of a trip.
Yeah, he is. He's a real free spirit. He absolutely loves being in the big leagues. He said the guys have treated him great. And he is a Rule 5 player who's never pitched above Double-A. Came from the Giants.
One-two to Desmond. Breaking ball inside.
Might come right back with that curveball again, as Desmond hasn't seen it. That wasn't his good curveball. He left it inside.
A liner to right. And did Bautista come up with the catch? Yes. The first base umpire is signaling that that is an out. And if that holds up, that's going to be a double play. And Bautista comes up holding the back of his right shoulder. For sure the Rangers are going to review this, or ask for a review to see if that ball was caught or trapped. The call on the field by the first base umpire, Rob Drake, was that was a catch. That was an out. That was not an out.
Now it bounced into his glove, and this is where it really becomes interesting, because they threw the ball to second to double up Alberto, the pinch runner, and you can see it clearly skips into his glove. He did a heck of a job of making the play on it, obviously wanting to keep that ball in front of him. But first base umpire ruled it a catch, and I think they're going to overturn this one.
And here's where the umpires have some discretion where to place the runner. There's a bit of gray area here. I would imagine they would let Alberto go to third because he was running to third, assuming the ball would be trapped. So why would they send him back to second? They won't let him score, but they'll let him go to third, I would think.
Yeah, it's interesting how they're going to place the runners, because you see Bautista got up and they signal a double play. But the first out of that double play will more than likely be overturned.
This replay review powered by Samsung.
Sinking liner. Bautista trapped the ball, and Alberto goes to third. They throw to second. You record the second out on the double play, and Jose still feeling the impact of that diving catch in right.
Headsets coming off. No catch. And the runner will be awarded third base. So that'll be a single for Desmond. Not sure why there's so much loud booing here. It seemed fairly obvious that he didn't catch that ball with the replays. First and third, nobody out.
Now the infield has to come in, but I think they interpreted that play perfectly, because you can't penalize the base runner for the umpire calling catch.
Barney in to talk to Biagini. First and third, nobody out, and Mitch Moreland is the hitter. Moreland has walked twice and has also grounded out. The way the Blue Jays are going offensively right now, even one more run for Texas feels like a huge deal. Ground ball to second, runner coming home, throw to the plate, tag in time. And Alberto may be saying that he never got me. Little bit of a hesitation by Barney getting the ball out of his glove, but apparently still in time to get the out at home plate.
Yeah, Russell made a nice tag on Alberto coming in, and he kind of reacted as if he thought, well, maybe he didn't have a lane, but Russell certainly gave him the lane, and then once he catches the ball, he slaps the tag on him, and he made a good tag. Good call by the home plate umpire, Sam Holbrook, but you can see Martin extending that glove and tagging Alberto in the chest.
So 4-2 on the put out, fielder's choice, first and second, one out, and now here's Elvis Andrus, 0 for 3. Looking ahead to the bottom of the ninth, the Blue Jays will send out Justin Smoke, Kevin Pillar, and Russell Martin, the 6, 7, 8 hitters in their lineup.
Joe Biagini never ever looks like he's rattled in any situation, and obviously he's just 25 years old. First time he's pitched above Double-A in his life, but he handles all these situations. He appears to be very confident and calm. He was on the mound in Baltimore in the extra inning game when he threw the ball to Josh Tolley, and the Orioles won on a pass ball in extra innings. But he takes the ball and he comes at you.
The 1-1. Swung on and missed. Boy, that's got a lot of movement for a 96-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah, he sure does have a lot of movement. That ball really runs, and that's the pitch that got away from Josh Tolley then in that Baltimore game.
You can see Ezekiel Carrera was up in the Blue Jays dugout. Had a bat in hand, so he may be called upon as a pinch hitter in the bottom of the ninth. One, two. Strike three called. A late call from home plate umpire Sam Holbrook. Elvis Andrus saying that's off the plate, but Holbrook rings him up.
Well, Biagini threw him a nasty sinker earlier in the at bat, and then he throws this ball to the outside. You can see the spin and the movement taking it back over the outside corner. Andrus gave up on it, but Sam Holbrook rings him up, and you can see by pitch tracker it caught the outside corner.
So 2 down in the inning now, and here's catcher Brett Nicholas. In there for a strike, 0-1. One run, 6 hits, no errors for the Rangers. No runs, 5 hits, 1 error for the Blue Jays. Texas has left 5. The Blue Jays have left 8. Biagini trying to get out of this, and he's a strike away from doing so.
First and third, nobody out. And Biagini keeps filling up that strike zone.
The 0-2 down low.
Biagini's a terrific Rule 5 draft pick. He's got size. He's been a starter throughout his career.
Blue Jays would love to be able to carry him all season long and keep him in the organization and beyond this year. In a pretty important spot right here. And it looks like he's going to get out of it. To the bottom of the ninth at Rogers Center, the Blue Jays coming up trailing 1-0. Scheduled hitters Justin Smoke, Kevin Pillar, and Russell Martin. Is on. He picked up the save last night in a 2-1 win, trying to pick up another one here tonight. Another one-run lead. This time it's 1-0 with Smoke, Pillar, and Martin due up for the Blue Jays. Darwin Barney would be fourth. We saw Ezekiel Carrera up with a bat in his hands minutes ago. Meanwhile, Jose Bautista, after trying to make that catch, that trap out in right field, was reaching up behind his right shoulder and getting a little bit of attention now from George Poulos.
All right, he made a terrific play on that to keep it right there. Took it on the short hop, and he was able to keep the runner Alberto from scoring. That ball gets by him. They might both score.
So here we go to the bottom of the ninth. The shift is on as Smoke leads off the inning against Tollison. And he paints the outside corner with the knees for strike one. Dyson made some very good pitches in a 3-up, 3-down bottom of the eighth.
How often does that eighth inning guy come in and face the meat of the order, and then the closer gets the next three? But Dyson did a terrific job with Bautista, Encarnacion, and Tulowitzki.
Swing and a miss by Smoke, and the count is 1-2.
See the catcher set up on the inside part of the play. That ball ran across to the outside corner.
Center field. It is deep, and it is gone. Justin Smoke with his first home run of the season, and what a time to come up with it as he ties the game here in the bottom of the ninth.
Well, we mentioned Smoke with 18 home runs a year ago, getting an extended opportunity to play, and boy, he drilled that ball to the power alley. This team was in desperate need of a big hit, and that's the biggest one they've had for a while.
Here's Kevin Pillar.
Ball out over the plate. Tollison was ahead, and Smoke hits that fastball to the opposite field and knocked it out of the ballpark.
Pillar 0 for 2, hit by a pitch as well as he takes down and away a ball and a strike.
That fastball ran right to the barrel of the bat with 2 strikes, and Smoke squared it up.
Now Pillar laces the ball to left field, off the wall on the fly. He's going to have to hurry, and he's in there safely.
But Kevin Pillar has been swinging a red-hot bat, and he missed a home run by about 2 feet, and then makes a heck of a slide, grabbing onto that bag at second just ahead of the tag of Odor.
Russell Martin will be the batter. The winning run at second with nobody out in the bottom of the ninth. Do they bunt?
I don't think they bunt. I think they have Russell hit away. He squared the bunt and takes a strike. He thought that was off the plate.
Ezekiel Carrera's come out of the on-deck circle in Darwin Barney's spot. Did Martin get the runner over somehow, some way?
Russell's so good when he's swinging the bat well and hitting the ball to the right side. I mean, he's one of your impact players. I think you give him an opportunity to swing the bat, pick up an RBI, and that might be just the kind of base hit that gets him going.
Blue Jays trailed all night long. Leadoff home run in the first by Rougned Odor. A Smoke homer in the bottom of the ninth to tie it. The 1-1. Down and away, ball 2.
You've been waiting for Russell to really start swinging the bat, and now he has to focus on hitting the ball to the power alley in right center. Just anything to get him going.
Pillar hit that ball about as hard as a ball can be hit. A little more elevation, it goes out. Because he hit it so hard, he needed all the speed that he's got just to get to second base.
Yeah, he really smoked it, and like it was just a couple of feet from going out.
Two balls and a strike on Martin. Nobody out in the inning, and the winning run at second base. And the pitch. Trying to go the other way.
Well, Kevin Pillar came into this game really swinging the bat with confidence. He had 3 hits in the game last night. And watch this line drive. I mean, this is a bullet just short of the top of the fence. And Desmond makes a heck of a play to make it close at second. And Pillar, you know, he's always running out of the box with a chance of getting that double.
2-2 on Martin. Inside, and the count is full. Carrera to bat for Barney next. All is quiet in the Texas pen. Tollison with a blown save on the home run by Smoke. (3-2). And Martin chases down and away for out number 1.
Looked like a breaking ball down and away. Might have been off the plate outside. And Russell strikes out. Changeup. Down and away. What a pitch from Tolleson with a full count.
So now Carrera. Carrera 12 for 36, a 333 average. This is just his second pinch hitting assignment. He's 0 for 1 on the year as a pinch hitter. And he'll look at ball one. Barney, the guy who Carrera replaced, up there on the top step, trying to give him some encouragement.
Tolleson did a good job as Pilar was bouncing off second. And he didn't look at him till the last minute, and then Pilar had to shorten up his lead. But obviously you can see Andrews is shadowing Pilar to try to keep him as close as possible. Don't want him to get a great lead.
The Blue Jays 0 for 7 tonight with runners in scoring position. As Tolleson falls behind, 2 balls and no strikes on Carrera. A base open, Saunders on deck. Now everybody's standing. A lot more life in that dugout than there has been most of the night. The Smoke home run did that. The Pilar double didn't hurt. And now again time is called as Nicholas says to Tolleson, let's start this over again. A lot on the line here in a tie game in the bottom of the 9th. The 2-0. Ball 3.
Tolleson throws that changeup and he bounced that one in the dirt. You remember last night Pilar advanced on a short wild pitch in the dirt from first to second. And obviously he's aware that anything in the dirt gets away from the catcher. He's got a chance to break for third. Pilar's done a good job at getting in the head of Tolleson. Bouncing off the bag at second. Now they want to talk things over. He wants his rookie catcher to come out and talk about this next pitch. Of course, this is the 9th spot in the order. You got Saunders on deck.
Saunders on deck. A 3-0 count on Carrera, pinch hitting for Barney. Some of the Texas infielders getting down into crouch. They've been out there a long time. Ball 4. Now for a preview of what's coming up on Sportsnet Central. Here are Eric Thomas and Ivanka Osmak. All right, Ivanka, thank you. The outcome still to be decided here at the Rogers Center, but a 1-1 tie. Michael Saunders is the batter, 1 for 3 and a walk. Ball 1.
Nomar Mazaro threw out a runner at the plate in last night's game. He's got a terrific arm in right. Center and left. They're both former infielders. Desmond has a shortstop arm. He's in left, and they are playing relatively shallow.
Well, the Blue Jays have their fastest runner at second base in Pilar as Saunders shows good patience. And the count is now 2-0. Bautista may get an opportunity, but before that were to happen, it would be Josh Donaldson. It's come around back to the top of the order after the home run by Smoke, the double by Pilar. An out later, a walk to Carrera. And Tollefson in all kinds of trouble right now. Three and 0.
The infield on the right side can play back because they don't have to worry about holding Carrera close should there be a ground ball double play. So they get more range to defend against the left-handed hitter because they're playing so deep. Without that rule at second base, he'd have to come up here and try to keep Carrera as close as he can to first, but now it's not an issue.
3 balls and a strike on Saunders. With 1 down in the bottom of the 9th, Tollefson comes set. He deals, and Saunders chops it foul. The count runs full. Donaldson next. And potentially Bautista after that. The crowd kind of catches its breath a little bit between pitches. 3-2 now the count on Saunders. So much on the line here on this pitch. And a step off by Tollefson to look Pilar back. An anxious John Gibbons looking on from the Blue Jays dugout. Andrews trying to keep Pilar close. 3-2, and it's in there for strike 3 called. Saunders fooled on the pitch.
Just couldn't pull the trigger on that inside pitch, and now this is an interesting move as you see the manager Jeff Bannister out to talk the situation out with Sean Tollefson. Here's that last pitch. It's a changeup inside, and it just fools Saunders. He can't pull the trigger. And that's the same pitch he struck out Russell Martin with on a 3-2 pitch, and he throws it to Saunders and really has confidence in throwing that changeup.
So now it'll be Tollefson and Donaldson.
Really interesting that the manager would come out and talk to Tollefson about this at bat. It's almost like, hey, you know, this is a big at bat.
See that guy? He's dangerous. Winning run at second, but now 2 down in the bottom of the 9th. And the pitch. Just down and away for ball 1. Infielders and outfielders playing Donaldson to pull. Smoke tied it with a homer. Donaldson trying to win it here. Not far enough, and it's 2-0. Pilar would have to be 100% sure he can get to third with 2 outs.
Yeah, and you just can't take any risk because on a base hit he can score from second, and you can't risk it.
The Rangers may have broken an unofficial major league record for most meetings on the mound in 1/2 inning.
And they got a rookie catcher back there, and they want to make sure everybody's on the same page, and the infielders have all gotten engaged.
Two 2-0 on Josh Donaldson. Looking for the base hit that wins the ball game. Chop foul.
Tollefson has really leaned heavily on his changeup in this inning. And obviously Donaldson has been aware. He saw Martin strike out on the changeup and saw Saunders take a changeup for strike 3.
The 2-1. Ball 3. Bautista would be next. $24,437 in attendance here tonight at Rogers Center. Finally got a little offense here in the bottom of the ninth, looking for a little bit more. The 3-1. And it's inside, ball 4, and that's going to load the bases for Bautista. The winning run is 90 feet away. 2 down in the bottom of the ninth. And the pitch. Mighty cut by Bautista as he sends it back foul. There aren't many. We're on the 400 level here. There aren't many foul balls that come up in this neighborhood. Millard doubled. He's at third right now. Everybody on their feet at Rogers Center. The set by Tollison. And the 0-1 low, a ball and a strike.
It is so difficult in this situation for hitters like Donaldson to take ball 4, and Bautista's taking borderline pitches. Tremendous discipline. Everybody's anxious to come up with this big hit, but you got to make sure you get a strike.
In the air to shallow right center field. And we're headed to extra innings here at Rogers Center. Justin Smoak tied the game with a home run to lead off the inning. His first of the season, drilled it to deep left center, but the Blue Jays could not push across the winning run. So there's more baseball coming here tonight. Way back when, at the beginning of the ball game, leadoff batter, top of the first, Rougned Odor with a home run off Marco Estrada. Estrada pitched very, very well after that, and that run for the Rangers held up until the bottom of the ninth, Buck, when Justin Smoak came to the plate.
Against Sean Tollison, he got a fastball down and away. You can see Tollison's reaction. He understood that this ball was hit hard, and for Smokey, that's his first home run of the season, and a very timely one. Goins comes in to take over defensively at second base, and Carrera stays in the ball game. He moves to left.
Joe Biagini starts Delino to Shields with a strike here in the top of the 10th. It'll be to Shields, Odor, and then Mazara. 9-1-2. And outside, a ball and a strike. A run on 6 hits for the Rangers, a run on 7 hits for the Blue Jays. Blue Jays leaving the bases loaded in the bottom of the 9th. And again, after the Smoke home run came the Pilar double. But Martin struck out for the first out, then Carrera walked, and then Saunders struck out for the second out. And eventually the Blue Jays would leave the bases loaded.
Well, it's easy to look back at the Russell Martin at bat and say, well, they should have bunted in that situation. But John Gibbons, the manager, is thinking about the big picture. You got to get your star catcher going. You give him an opportunity to come up with a big base hit, and unfortunately struck out on that changeup.
And pitch runs down and in, and the count now full on to Shields. Odor on deck. 3-2 pitch on the way, and a swing and a ground ball to third. Charging Donaldson on the run. He'll throw him out.
Donaldson's had a good night in the field. He made a couple good plays and snared a line drive. This time he has to throw on the run, and the Shields can motor. So he throws him out by a full stride.
Back to the top of the order now for Odor. 2 for 4, including that home run in the first inning. This might sneak through, way out on the outfield turf, and out at first. Terrific play by Goins.
One of the toughest things to do is come off the bench and play defense, and Goins kept himself in the game, and this is a terrific play. He knows Odor can run. He unloads in a hurry and gets some help from Smoke digging it out of the dirt. I don't think there's anybody in the American League that has as much range as second as Ryan Goins, and he makes a terrific play for the second out of this inning.
It's scooped by Smoke at the other end. Biagini likes the defense. So 2 down in the inning, and now here's Mazara. Mazara tonight 1 for 4, had an infield hit his last time up. Hit a big home run last night, the run that stood up as the winner for the Rangers in the 2-1 game. Oh, and 2. Biagini getting a chance to pitch in a situation where not every Rule 5 pitcher gets these types of situations, but as you said, they've had so many close games.
He was the losing pitcher in extra innings in Baltimore when that ball got away from Josh Tolley, so he has been in this situation before.
Smoke will take it himself, and the inning is over. 3 ground ball outs. To the bottom of the 10th in a 1-1 tie. Middle of the order for the Blue Jays. Encarnacion, Tulowitzki, and then the guy who tied it in the 9th, Smoke, coming up third. Phil Klein comes out of the Texas pen here in the bottom of the 10th inning. 6'7", 255 pounds. He is the 7th pitcher of the night for the Rangers, who spent some time with Texas each of the last 2 years, making his 7th appearance of the season this year. And he will face.
Yep. He had parts of 2 seasons in the major leagues. He came up in 2014 and made 17 appearances, just 19 innings. And last year he was 1-0 in 11 games and actually started 2 games for the Rangers last year.
So a 1-1 tie, an Odor home run in the first, a Smoke home run in the 9th. Edwin Encarnacion will lead it off here in the 10th. He's 0 for 3 and a walk. He'll be followed by Troy Tulowitzki and then Smoke. "11 men left on by the Blue Jays through 9. A strike to Encarnacion. So 7 pitchers used by Texas, 5 pitchers used by the Blue Jays: Estrada, Chavez, Cecil, Osuna, and Biagini. Line to left field. That's a base hit.
Boy, that's a base hit that was long overdue. Edwin snaps an 0 for 20 with that base hit after going 0 for 3 tonight. And you can see finally smiling. He's been working hard to get this timing down, and he hammers this ball to left, foot down in plenty of time, gets the barrel out in front and smokes it to left.
Now Tulowitzki, 1 for 4, had a base hit back in the 6th inning. And a strike. Just the second game of a 4-game series between these 2 teams. 2-1 win for Texas last night. We'll have games for you each of the next 2 nights. Called strike 2.
Looks like he's cutting that ball a little bit. It's just 86 miles an hour, but there seems to be late movement on it. He's thrown it to Encarnacion in the first at bat of this inning.
Down and away. Cutting action on that pitch again.
Everybody trying to get up to speed on Phil Klein. Checking in with Brooke Jacoby, the hitting coach.
Klein ahead of Tulowitzki, a ball and 2 strikes. Leadoff man aboard, Encarnacion, here in the bottom of the 10th. Strike 3 called.
Went down and away again, and you can see this is just a 2-seam fastball, and again it runs back through the outside corner.
Here's Smoke. His home run tied it in the bottom of the 9th. Now he drills one to deep left field, and that's a game winner. Justin Smoke homers to tie it in the 9th and win it in the 10th. A much-needed victory for the Blue Jays as they beat the Rangers 3-1.
Justin Smoak has been waiting a long time to hit his first home run, and he didn't mess around. He saved it for a game-tying situation in the ninth. And then he said, you know what, that felt pretty good. Let me do it again.
Left center to tie it. Left field to win it. Going the opposite way both times.
Justin hit 18 home runs last year, and it's a beautiful swing. He really stayed on that ball and went down and squared it up to try it out of the ballpark and walk off the Rangers. Boy, the Blue Jays were in desperate need of that one.
A deliriously happy Blue Jay dugout after they had left so many men on for most of the night. Justin Smoak single-handedly leads the Blue Jays to victory 3-1 in 10 innings. Time now for Sportsnet Central. Back to the studio with Eric Thomas and Ivaka Osman.